Welcome to What is the Matrix TV. It's a podcast built for the curious, for the ones who believe that this universe has more to say than we were told. We connect the past, the present, and the future, digging into aliens, pyramids, Hello, family. I am Dr. Jason Lee Williams, and this
is What is the Matrix TV,
the intergalactic podcast where we decode the code.
Aliens, UFOs, pyramids.
Grand Architect Jason, how was the planet Earth Matrix ride? Was it as wild as you hoped?
Wild? That was insane. Felt like decades.
5, 4, 3.
Grand Architect Jason, how was the planet Earth Matrix ride? Was it as wild as you hoped?
Wild? That was insane. Felt like decades.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Grand Architect Jason, how was the planet Earth Matrix ride?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Grand Architect Jason, how was the planet Earth Matrix ride?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoa. What is this place?
Rise, traveler.
This is insane. It's like 5, 4, 3,
How was
2,
the planet
1.
Earth Matrix ride you built?
Better than I imagined. Every choice felt real, every lesson sharper.
The mortals won't know they were only visitors.
Then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's see what this does. Jason Williams, blood of my line.
You know 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's happening to me?
Welcome home, noble one. Your essence remembers.
The stars are your kin.
What if your classroom wasn't limited by walls or textbooks? Welcome to the Victory XR Classroom Simulation Lab, where virtual reality meets hands-on learning. Students don't just learn about science and careers, they experience them. From animal dissection and human anatomy, to chemistry, particle physics, and real-world career training. Each lab includes Quest VR headsets, Victory XR simulation software, a secure charging cart, on-site setup and training, and access to more than 160 global virtual field trips. This is a full-class 25-headset immersive simulation lab for $47,000. Everything your students need to explore STEM, CTE careers, and the world. Perhaps you need a slimmer package? Ask about our $10,000 classroom lab. At Victory XR, we make hands-on learning come to life.
Tutankhamun's chest, discovered in his tomb. KV-62 in the Valley of the...
Rappers in it, I'm the hardest in it. Fuck the critics, ain't nobody hardest gritty. Black and brown come together, we ain't backing down. I've been in the hardy city, got the bloodline of a king. Gotta come together, we all in the same game. One God, one universe, all unity, and ain't shit changed. Gotta mount up, but they dumb us down with that fake shit that they teach us now. We been living in the belly of the devil, battling so we can make it out. Fuck the politics and the president, fuck the White House till they let us in. We gon' go to war, we ain't hesitant. If they want to smoke, then I'm a hella shit. We the last living of a dying breed. Ain't nobody with the pen as hard as me. Every time I rap it hit a artery. Ain't nobody fucking with my artistry. We the holy guys, we invented time. We gon' send a missile like it's Lebanon. I been eating rappers like it's dinner time. Suckers hibernating like it's dinner time.
Smoke on the West Coast. West Coast. Beautiful women on the West Coast. West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast. West Coast. Like a round ride on the West Coast. We got the best smoke on the West Coast. West Coast. Beautiful women on the West Coast. West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast. West Coast. Like a round ride on the West Coast. We got the best smoke on the West Coast. West Coast. Beautiful women on the West Coast. West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast.
All aboard! It is time to hop aboard my spaceship, 'cause you are now tilted to what is the Matrix TV. I'm your host, Dr. Jason E. Williams, EDD. Doctor of Education, better known as Jason Elm Street Williams. And today, let me introduce an amazing co-host, brother Larry Daniels.
Peace, peace. It's a pleasure to meet you, Doc.
How you been,
I'm
brother?
doing good.
So
I'm doing quite good.
So tell us, man, as we get it going, we see Epstein, we see aliens, we see Barack Obama approving and saying that aliens exist. So what is your opinion at the first picture? They say that African gods are evil
It's
rituals.
quite crazy.
Right. Now tell us, which rituals scare you the most? Us dancing in our African, Mesoamerican, Olmec, Washita.
It's there.
Does this scare you? Or their rituals coming in, talking about why did Christians defend slavery using the Bible? So what do you feel as we start the episode with the Donald Trump Epstein Files being released? To the right, we see Jesus and black folks bowing down. And to the left, we see our indigenous African spirituality being demonized. What do you think?
Most definitely. Their rituals are the most scariest part.
Definitely. So what do you feel when it comes to the African gods being demonized, and now you see Epstein and our world leaders confirmed now being involved in human sacrificing, blood drinking, eating babies, donating babies and children to their gods, like we were speaking of, what was his name?
Moloch.
Ooh, scary. So as we get into it, we know that throughout various cultural spiritual systems, bloodletting has been part of rituals. We could go to Mesoamerica to where certain cultures purposely did bloodletting to appease certain deities or to make contact. But when it comes to Judaism, modern day Christianity, in these religions, we see even throughout their texts that their God asked for blood sacrificing. So when we study Yahweh worship or Jehovah worship, doesn't that God ask for blood sacrifice, Brother Larry? Can you hear me? Brother Larry, are you there? Tell him I can't hear him. Think he's having internet problems. So let's get back to it. So as we know, let me turn this. Maybe we could let me put on another beat for y'all. Oh, here he comes. You back?
This internet is just messing with me. Doesn't want me to speak my truth.
Right. Oh man. So
keeps happening. I don't know what to tell you.
So I was asking you about how you felt about the blood sacrificing deities of their God, of the European gods, the colonizers' gods. What do you feel when it comes to Jesus worship, Yahweh worship, and Jehovah, and these gods asking for blood sacrifices? And when we go into the Christian church, they drink blood in the form of cranberry juice, and they eat bread and crackers to be the flesh of Jesus. So truly, modern day Christians, Catholics, and all those falling under Judaism, when they participate in communion, they're basically lower level satanic worshipers and performing a satanic ritual just on a lower level. So when we learn about Epstein, Trump, and your world leaders and celebrities eating babies, drinking blood, when you're hearing or seeing these emails, Ellen DeGeneres particularly liked human skin. Well, when you go into church, that's what you're doing. It's symbology. So if you're a Christian, you worship Jesus, you worship Yahweh and Jehovah, you worship Satan. You just don't know it. So what do you feel about that, brother?
Yeah, it's quite crazy. Like for the longest, they've been making a lot and it's been happening for many centuries, even thousands of years. And it was like, hold that I run, but it's just mad crazy that they've been doing this for thousands of years, from the forefathers to Epstein and them.
Definitely. But when we look at it, yeah, I guess that's part of the distraction. You know, when we start looking at it, the holidays, the schools, the religions, right now it's February, so it's Black History Month, and it's all distractions to keep us from looking the other direction on how this operates. The celebrities, go ahead. Because like you said, it's crazy how this has been going on the whole time, but every time someone from the industry leaves or tries to will, they go ahead.
Yep, like after each distraction over distraction, it's letting them prosper and snuffing us out in the back.
Definitely, it's clearly what I look at it is that they kill in the name of their God. So they're appeasing their God, and in order for them to rule over us, they have to feed these deities, you know. And throughout time, they said that if they don't feed the deities actually show up. And so also that must be what's also happening, to where the deities are so hungry to where they're like, F it, we're about to reveal ourselves. So I have a picture to the right, y'all. It says new Jeffrey Epstein emails reveal he hunted African Americans at night on their island for fun, allegedly. So one of the emails has them saying, thanks for the thrilling hunt. Guess what? They're niggers. So what do you feel about that when we know about movies like Ice-T had a movie to where the white folks and people were hunting humans? And as a kid, I always felt that as well, that they had lands where the kidnapped black people were going. And there's a movie called, I think, Antebellum, or with that singer, and they had her enslaved. And that there were still towns in America that were cut off from normal people, that black people were still enslaved. So I pretty much guarantee that's still happening, to where the kidnapped people, the homeless people, the kidnapped black people are hunted down like animals for sport. So, and then throughout history with them eating us. You remember we used to hear stories. There's a book called The Delectable Negro, and it talked about how they would eat us, not just the slaves, but the mummies. But go ahead.
Yep. Like like back in the day, they thought that eating mummies would give them powers, give them enhanced vision, and all this ancient wisdom that once their flesh is consumed, they could literally do anything.
Yes. And so I'm gonna
and then like the organ donors, like they'll once they donate the organs, they'll consume it. Primarily our organs.
Like the movie Midnight Meat Train. You guys, you know, I always talk about this movie.
Oh, and then the blood donors, them too. They consume our blood too.
Wow, I forgot about that. Because the movie Blade talked about that, the blood banks, and they do that at the schools. I remember when I was a permanent substitute teacher, every year, they would do blood drives, and I wouldn't do it. And it would spook me out, and I would be like, they're taking these kids' blood. And so I don't know if that was going on when we were kids, but if you're a parent watching this, or anyone, notice how they have blood drives at schools. And that's because, like Brother Larry was saying. So what do you know about Midnight Meat Train or organ harvesting? And once again, as we start the show, all that being connected to God. So the God, or the word God, God, that people have been serving, has been asking for blood sacrifice. So what do you feel when these movies come out showing us that the government's been involved in human harvesting? But as the internet keeps messing up on the brother, we're going to show some of these Instagram videos.
I must feed you. I must feed you to the Northwest. Don't take him. Don't take the baby. Take the baby. Don't take me.
I'm sure the baby will be fine.
Me! I must appease him with the gift of a man-child. Come to me! I must feed you! I must feed you to the Northwest! Don't take him! Don't take the baby! Take the baby! Don't take me!
I'm sure the baby will be fine.
Me! I must... with the gift of a man-child. Come to me. I must feed you. I must feed you to the northwest. Oh, take care.
So right there, they're showing you right in front of us what they've been doing the whole time. So when we talk about Christianity at a massive level, these are the people who converted indigenous people into what we call Jesus worship, Yahweh worship, Jehovah worship, or the word God itself. So when you hear people say they worship God, or when people would freak out and say, I don't believe in God, or I know God. Is there a difference now when you start thinking to believe in God and know God? And then you ask people, what God? And usually religious people will say, well, there's only one God. Well, there's not only one God. When you travel outside of America, or even inside of America, there's multiple gods. Even in their good book, the Bible, there's multiple gods. And so when we talk about the main deity that indigenous people and the majority of the people who have encountered these colonizers, they get converted to either Catholicism or Christianity through bloodshed. So as we begin the first 20 minutes of the show, we want to start gearing you guys up to really start thinking about what we experience for those of us as children who were raised in the church. The church is a minor synagogue of Satan worship, because clearly you see that the celebrities and world leaders get benefits from worshiping the deity of the colonizers who came, murdered, raped, pillaged our land, and then forced their ideology on us, which divided us. And so here we are today. Most of our parents were converted because our grandparents were converted, and then our great-grandparents were converted. And so only a few years ago, you in your past life experienced major trauma as an indigenous person in one of your dreams. And this is why they don't want to teach you the lessons of dreaming, or that you're actually in a dream world, because this is why they say the American dream, because you're only here for a certain amount of time. And
Hello?
so I'm here. You back, brother? Can you hear it?
Yeah, I'm back. Man, this phone. Okay.
It's all good. I was
Man, yeah.
Were you able to see the creepy Cobart skit of him sacrificing the baby I showed? Or did you tune out?
Oh yeah, for real.
Do you want me to show it again for you?
Well,
What'd you say?
good. We can. I'm pretty sure we got. I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay, so I wanted to go down some of these Epstein videos with y'all as we start getting it going. So Epstein is also talking about the simulation in quantum physics. So let's start listening, because like the picture we showed earlier of brother Michael Vick, where did it go? This picture right here, where, you know, the world demonized Michael Vick for fighting dogs. This brother was locked in prison for fighting dogs, even though we know animal humane, the things that he did was extra. But people eat meat. They slaughter animals and torture cows and pigs. The reason why they did Michael Vick that way is, once again, why Jeffrey Epstein and your elite kidnap us and study us, is because you are the extraterrestrials. You are the aliens. You are the descendants. Therefore, you are the creators of civilization. Math, science, you are those descendants with the highly melanated skin and inside of your brain to connect to the sun, moon, the stars, and nature. So Michael Vick was transforming Mike L, he was transforming once again the quarterback position, the Falcon, Hey Rue. They had to lock him up. So you know how that goes. So we learned that Jeffrey Epstein. I know. It's all good. So we're learning that Jeffrey Epstein was also into
you know, if
go ahead.
Yeah. If I actually if I connect that, I'm sorry. It's all good.
Okay.
Cause this phone is kind of
Okay. It's all good. I'm gonna play this video for y'all, and it's Jeffrey Epstein talking about universe and the simulation theory. So we understand that this is bigger than this child sacrificing, all the stuff that we've been hearing. They're dealing with quantum physics. They're dealing with time travel. Hence why Donald Trump is fascinated with that past president that he lost. Because if he can change that election, Joe Biden never was president. And we're also going to show a picture where the Epstein Files say Joe Biden was killed a long time ago, and the Joe Biden that we saw wasn't even real. So if Donald Trump can prove
Joe
that the
Biden
election were rigged, and that means that he was president and Joe Biden was fake, that means that they can time travel. Because you do not know any of the events that you read about in the Bible, the history books ever happened. You were not there. And you can experience that with telephone that we used to do when we were kids in the classroom, where someone would relay a message. You can watch the same NFL Super Bowl, and someone could be watching the quarterback, the cheerleader, the offensive line. Someone could say they loved the Super Bowl, hated the Super Bowl. It's the same thing in life.
Oh yeah, like what's his name? Yeah, Trump. Like he has his uncle, right? And he bought out Tesla. Since Tesla had the keys for time traveling and quantum physics.
Ooh. Go into detail for those who might not know about that. You tapped something I forgot about, brother. Go into detail with that.
Oh yeah, Trump's uncle, I forgot his name, but he goes by Trump, which was his original name. If some of y'all who don't know, he changed his name because his father was about to be prosecuted because of the German relations in World War II. But his great uncle was there with Nikola Tesla, and Tesla made a very intricate device that could be possibly capable of time traveling and the interest of quantum physics from the key points of the universe from 3, 6, and 9. And he had all the keys to go back in time or whatever. But sometime during that time, Donald Trump's uncle was like, hey, let me have something like that. I could give you all this, and you could have something with that. But Nikolai wasn't that type of dude to accept that offer. But I forgot. But it was. But he bought over Nikolai.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
And if you guys remember, if you go back on last year's episodes and previous episodes, I've told people, you guys got to remember, I was doing podcast episodes in 2009, 2012. We had podcast studios. This is my millionth season coming back. So a lot of this, I hear people saying, I said years ago, because we were really boots on the ground in Hollywood. You hear so many people talk about Hollywood stories, but they didn't. Most of those people weren't even raised in Southern California. So we're right in the epicenter. When I'm telling you guys these things, these are things that you hear more of and know more of than people who are born and raised out of state, because all of that stuff really happens. The epicenter is Hollywood, Southern California. So what Brother Larry Daniels is talking about is time travel while they're using CERN. We talked about Henry Etta Lacks, and the Los Angeles Science Center has a museum exhibit showing you that the black woman's cells are immortal. Hence why I have this picture right here of Jeffrey Epstein's close confidant, Peter Nygord. Jeffrey Epstein's associate attempted to purchase babies from black women so he could drain the baby's blood. He wanted black women's stem cells. He was going around the world collecting black women's stem cells. So imagine all the extra hype black women that you know of who were introduced to certain pale skin, much loved all people, so-called Europeans, Caucasian men with money, and they said, let me fly you to this island, or let me fly you or take you to this mansion, and these women are never heard from again. Or when you hear about women being released from the police station in California, being disappeared from or kidnapped. All these missing black women go into the research of them creating a new race of people, what you also call adrenochrome. And like Brother Larry Daniels was saying, they get power from eating you. Just like you get power from eating a banana, an apple. When you eat a steak, you get the energy of that animal. Hence why they teach us to be careful with the meats, because the animals are being tortured, and when you eat a tortured animal, you take on that. Hence why when people go hunting, they like it fresh, because they say that they take on the animals' nature. So imagine, there's also movies, I forgot, it was talking about how they kidnap kids, but basically they'll have a list. So like the movie Get Out, to where they're looking for a healthy black male. And so they'll seduce you with a white woman, get you to go over their house, or even a black girl will do it, and vice versa. And so they'll drug you and kidnap you. And this is what we're dealing with, is organ harvesting.
Most definitely.
Did you want to say anything with that before I play the video?
Oh no, I had her Get Out. Yeah, I remember that movie. They were in that one moment when Roman was out there. They were doing a silent auction, trying to sell him off.
Yeah.
To the highest bidder.
Yes. And that's a real
portrayed as a slave auction. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And like we were saying earlier in the episode, those realities, those type of cities like Get Out, the Annabella movie, the Ice-T movie where they're hunting black people and hunting humans, those places exist still. So Epstein Island is only one of the islands that they do this. This is an ancient system that has been going on before we were born, before your grandma was born, your great grandma. It never stopped. It just went what we call underground, literally. But you still, once again, go to a church and they do the same rituals, just on a lower level. So when you hear your mom and dad and your friends say, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, they're part of a cult. The whole planet, the majority of the planet, wherever they go, these vampires, they murder, eat, and kill the indigenous people, and the children and the women who are left over are converted to vampirism, Satanism, which is worship of necromancy, worship of not just the dead in an ancestral worship, but deities that vibrate on a lower level that want to participate in human activities. So in order for them to blend their dimension, they need blood sacrifice. Hence why they're opening up urn and all these instruments, because they want to merge the dimensions, because we are not alone in the universe. Not only are there other land masses, some people say planets, but the entities that you speak of walk amongst us, whether it's ghosts, spirits, aspirations. They vibrate on a different frequency. We are made up of atoms, photons, neurons, and electrons. This is just a spacer, but it's still a frequency. That's why we say all this is a dream world, a simulation. Because once you understand that it's a electrical frequency and it's a pattern in binary codes, you can crack and unlock the codes and keys to the universe, which our ancestors did. And so that means that there's other entities right here amongst us vibrating. And so the more that bloodshed occurs, the more violence, the more fear, the more they use certain technology to answer codes, they're going to bring in these entities to this realm, which is a simple frequency, like turning to Power 106, ABC, NBC. It's the same thing. What we're experiencing, this a different channel. So to the right,
and they're free. Certain news channels, like every time you tune into it, either if it's positive or negative, we also feed them information, and they feed us right back, only giving us either a lie or sometimes a distraction.
Wow. Yeah, we were raised to trust them by giving us Jesus, a white man to worship, even though people say, oh, I believe in Yahweh. Yeah, but we weren't raised like that. We were raised to worship white man. And so subconsciously, we worship white people, or not us, but our people worship white people subconsciously. And so indigenous people allowed so-called parasitic people to rule over them. And here we are today. They're being exposed. So like I say in previous episodes, when the so-called pale-skinned European Caucasian male Neanderthal gets exposed for who he truly is, it's his nature. It's his nature of who he is, and he knows that we are a different species. No one else is going to want to do business with them. When Donald Trump, their world, the so-called white man's world, on how they ran it is exposed, it ends. So the sun and the moon and the stars doesn't end. The breath of life doesn't end. Their spell is broken, meaning that the curse is about to be broken. And the goal is for you to break the curse over your mind before they reveal it to you. Because clearly, if they have to reveal what they did to you, they still have you under the spell, and you don't graduate to the next level of class, which is another frequency of thought, which changes your perception, therefore changing your reality of what you see and can manifest. Hence why the old class and old elite are dying off, and us, the new class, are going to either be the elite or on a certain scale, the poor, and all that is in the mind. It doesn't matter what color you are, it's the mind. And so
a state of mind.
There you go. A state of mind. Just like they have California, Virginia, they have states. So what state of mind are you going to be in when they reveal? Because clearly the masses are only going to break that curse But what they plan to do is interject another new world or new paradigm. So we're talking about a paradigm shift. It's those of us who rise in ascension and in so-called I don't like saying wake up because to wake is death. So we rise in ascension.
Yeah, it's all good.
Right. We rise in ascension are those basically they'll wipe away the old world and implant it with something new. So basically everything that we were taught in the past with history and stuff is about to be erased. Because once people see that God isn't real, Jesus isn't real, and that all these characters and all these events in history never happened, people are either going to go crazy or go back to the slave system, and they're going to say, oh, the aliens are white or this, and they're going to basically create a new reality for people to live in. But right now is your chance to escape the slave quarters, the Matrix. And that's what Harriet Tubman and them is an example of. There's another reality outside of this Matrix, which is a state of mind. So if we can escape the so-called white man's world, which is a state of mind, there clearly is a gift, what they would call heaven on earth. And earth is a state of mind because that's a word. So now we say, let's go forward to Atlantis. Let's return home to Atlantis, Lemuria, Wakanda, because we know that these words hold meaning and true value. So what is Atlantis? That's free technology. That's free energy. That's us as indigenous people living at our highest levels. We can live in those word spells instead of living under a spell that we were born of sin. You know?
Yep.
So I'm going to play this video of Jeffrey Epstein, y'all. And we're going to get this episode rolling so you guys understand what's really happening. We're dealing with a quantum war. We're dealing with time to where they're literally trying to put the so-called white man as God. They already did it with Jesus, with the image.
Yep.
So now they're trying
that's to the image. Yep.
And so the
image is always everything.
There you go. And
if they fall into an image, they'll always believe in it. And the more they believe into it, the more they're going to be fed into the lie.
Exactly. Just like Mickey Mouse, y'all. When I say the word Mickey Mouse, what comes to mind? The cartoon character. But Mickey Mouse isn't real. So right there, we're part of the magic system to where we know that Mickey Mouse is a cartoon character, but that character, that image pops up in our minds. Now, it can either represent fun and happiness, or now it can represent what we learn about Jeffrey Epstein and those who've been controlling us using mind control, magic, blood magic. Just like the show on Stars, it was called American Gods. Everyone go watch the show American Gods. And it showed you that the European couldn't even get on the land. The land didn't like him. Hence why they said that they were dying. They had to eat each other. They were performing cannibalism when they got here, until the Indians, us, as Mers and Moors, taught them how to farm. So that means that you're dealing with a race of vampires that if they're not amongst you, if you don't teach them anything, they return to their nature. And if you learn the nature of the caveman Neanderthal, you will not want to participate in his reality. You will not want them amongst you unless they, not in a sense convert, but they live and understand and walk in our culture, which is peace, freedom, justice, righteousness. If they don't walk in those principles, in ancient times it was, and so the Slavics, the slaves, we would not enslave them, we would capture them and keep them away, hence why we would banish them to the warehouse. What is the warehouse? The warehouses are the caves, hell. And so they were kicked out of humanity and banished to the caves. And someone clearly let them out for the opportunity prior to either wreak havoc, or for some so-called Neanderthals and some so-called white people could have an opportunity to gain a soul. So if you're so-called white, Jason is saying that we let you out of hell for the opportunity to prove that you are not like your father, Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, these type of characters. We wanted to give you an opportunity. So so-called white people, Caucasian, troglodytes, Neanderthals, we loved you so much that we gave you an opportunity to exist, to learn what you call what God or nature is, to become a man instead of mankind.
Yeah, like we taught them everything to make them civilized. Shout out to the 5% Nation.
Peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. And exactly, I wanted to. I got your picture over here, and I was telling you how powerful that was. This brother right here, Larry Daniels, sent this to me, and he's getting back in his artwork, like we were talking about imagery. You know, each of us looking at this are thinking of different thoughts. Some of us see a L, a 90-degree angle. Some of us see a circle, a sphere, all perspectives. Hence, that means that you are what you call Allah. Arm, leg, arm, and head. You are God. You are the creator of your universe, and hence why they don't want you to know you're God, because then you could work on being the best God you can be. Clearly, in the movies, there's good superheroes, there's bad superheroes. Hence why you see that a lot of this is going to be revealed, like you see Jay-Z about to get snatched up and revealed. Because we're also dealing with black vampires. Hence, they came out with the movie Vampires in Brooklyn. And where was Vampire in Brooklyn? Where did he originally come from? Barbados. Hence why the Epstein Islands are all over there. Because there's black vampires as well, y'all. Who taught them that? I remember my roommate Danny, we were getting into it my senior year at Cal State San Marcos, and it came to me, and I said it, and I said it in my head. It was a good funky fungus trip, and it was showing him killing all these people on the battlefield and eating people, and I was like, "Why'd you do that?" And then there was something with hair. They were basically white people eating people. And I was in rulership, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And the more I learned, I was like, man, we used them in war. When we took them out the caves, some of us, we were going against basically Yeti, Bigfoot, the abominable snowman. So imagine a so-called white man, a big 6'5", 7-foot white man with no knowledge of anything, and you're training them to kill, and they already know how to naturally. That's what they do. But that's why they killed Bruce Lee, because when we taught the so-called caveman how to know properly to kill martial arts, that's a dangerous thing, because you're talking about someone who isn't born with a soul, or they're soulless. meaning they have less of a soul, and the word soul means son. So that means they're less of a son of God. They're less melanated. So if they are less, that means that they lack. Hence, they are the black people. They are the ones who lack color. And so here we are as they start revealing the true essence of the blood sacrificing was not only to bring forth the extraterrestrial gods that they worship that are underground and also time travel and bend space and time, but also to utilize you as Mers, Moors, and indigenous people to bring forth their new reality. Because in order for them to rise in different manifestations in higher realms, they have to have you around. So if they have cities of kidnapped black women and black kids and they're having babies and these kids don't know about us on the upper surface or us, imagine what they're being programmed to do. These kids can be moving objects by now with their mind, but not knowing what's going on. Hence why they don't teach us that we're under the ocean and that we're under a dome. And they also did another SpaceX flight recently, Cape Canaveral. So once again, Elon Musk is being sanctioned to drop off satellites in low Earth orbit for when the robots are deployed, they're able to communicate with the robots everywhere. And for those who take the microchip, will either be controlled or be able to upload information because the Neuralink is here. So now it's going to be a war between transhumanism. It's not going to matter if you're black, white, Asian. It's going to be, are you human? And then it'll be time we learn that we're extraterrestrials, and most people, they're going to kill you. Because throughout time, when they reveal who the aliens are, they try to kill us. Hence why in the movies, they always try to kill the superheroes. And so the superheroes either have to blend in or we usually have to leave. Hence why the X-Men and all these Superman, they had bases off the planet, bases underground, because we got, most likely we're going to have to separate from the humans because some of them are going to still be mad.
Like our secret.
And then
like our secret identity.
There you go. And then they're making it to where they want to hate black people because they're going to blame it on black people. That's what my roommate basically was saying. Watch it, Jay, because what they're going to do is when they say you're God, people are going to say, well, then it was black people who did all this fucked up shit. And they're going to turn on us too. And if you see that slowly happening with them revealing that white folks were enslaved, that there were so-called black slave masters, and you hear so-called black people saying, oh, the Moors did it, the Moors did it. Those are your black Christians, because it was the black Christians who freed the monkeys, or half monkey, half man. So once again, they have the black woman fighting on TV, distractions, which means that the majority of black households are in disarray. And now they're being programmed by Jeffrey Epstein because in Harvey Weinstein and connected to Jay-Z. So once again, we learn that hip hop, CIA operation, which is a blood sacrifice cult. Because what did hip hop do? It created murder. Hence why T.I. and them, T.I. had to do his humiliation ritual to the point they made him do a comedian so they wouldn't kill him or one of his kids. Same thing with Gorilla. They're Glorilla. They're making her sister do the humiliation ritual to make her famous because they want to make the new black woman a butch, a lesbian, a man. Why? To end the black family, because the black family is dead. And if you look at black music, it's satanic. Therefore, black people are either going to maintain being black, which is going to be a new type of human, the new black homosexual, black woman, sperm donors like the brat, and she probably got a sperm donor from Jeffrey Epstein. I want everyone to watch American Horror Story with Kim Kardashian. There's an American Horror Story season where Kim Kardashian is dealing with the sperm bank, and eventually they release it that all people who got sperm donated from a so-called white man, they're going to find out that the majority of that sperm had Jeffrey Epstein's DNA in it. And so now programming in. And so now we talk about them doing what Hitler and them were doing still to this day, using our blood to create and graft a new type of being. And that's why they're showing you the Island Boys. So before we get into the Island Boys, let me show y'all this Instagram video to take you to where you know what we're dealing with. I'm still here.
All right.
I'm trying not to smoke tree on camera, by the way, y'all. Got some.
It's all good.
Music on the track. Music on the track. NK Music on the track. NK Music on the track.
I thought the video was playing. The video wasn't playing the whole time?
Oh, no. No, it didn't happen.
Fuck. My bad, y'all.
Yeah, I was like, wait, wasn't that a...
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Hey, it's all good.
I'm over here chilling, and I look. How long was that break? I hope I didn't lose my audience. Oh no.
Yeah.
My bad, bro. Let me see.
Hey, you good.
You have intuition.
You can always...
Men see things a bit differently. Men want to measure everything.
Let me start it over. Man, I'm sorry. Hopefully I didn't lose people. Damn it. And it's the hour mark. So here we go, y'all.
Philosophers can't do math, and some of the mathematicians, and again, mathematicians often break into two categories: people that solve problems. Those are more like geometers in the old days, just problem solvers. And then there's thinkers, theoreticians. They're more like the old movement towards philosophy. But neither one of those two groups have been able to figure out why something is alive as opposed to something that's not alive. No one's been able to describe what the soul is, but we all know it exists. And I think what we need is a new, science is a bad word. I think science only describes the things we already know about the physical world. In fact, there's an argument that the physical world that we see has been created out of our systems of mathematics. Mathematics, everyone knows mathematics describes the physical world much greater than it should, unless my view, the physical world really comes out of conscious beings that have mathematics. So they create it. This table appears to you and I to be solid. To a bat, because we have light that's bouncing off the table into our eyes, it appears solid. If instead of eyes that responded to wavelengths of visual light, our eyes responded to radio waves, the radio frequencies, it's not different, it's the same type of frequency as light, but different speeds, the table's invisible. We know that our phone works in this room. So the waves are coming through the windows, the waves are coming through the walls. So the walls are invisible to that type of radiation, that type of energy. The walls I can see them because my eyes, a physical system determines that the walls are there.
You, with Murray Geldman, you founded, or were the original donor, and had the idea of Santa Fe Institute. In 10 or 15 years later, that effort to study the complexity of systems mathematically.
Yes.
Was
a total failure. Yes.
A total failure.
Total failure.
Why is that?
It's the failure of science because, in fact, if the physical world really comes out of conscious beings that have mathematics, so they create it. This table appears to you and I to be solid. To a bat, because we have light that's bouncing off the table into our eyes, it appears solid. If instead of eyes that responded to wavelengths of visual light, our eyes responded to radio waves, the radio frequencies, it's not different, it's the same type of frequency as light, but different speeds, the table's invisible. The physical, again, another one of the Feynman quotes when he was talking about quantum physics. He said, anyone, Jeffrey, who says they understand quantum physics and quantum mechanics and quantum behavior, you know they're lying.
Let's talk about it. That's post-Newtonian. Talk about what's the difference.
Quantum physics, y'all, and they're dealing with quantum computers now. They're bending space and time, hence the Mandela effect. It
forms a much broader category.
Let's go back to this desk. You used the thing of Newton using this desk. Why can't
you're living in
Newton's
a matrix
theory
hologram, like the
why did subatomic
movie
quantum
Free
mechanics
Guy.
or quantum physics have to come in to explain this?
Well, so let's go right back to square one. Why is it called quantum physics? So quanta is a word that simply means packet, small amount. So it's quantized. So we recognized, when we recognized that this table appears, another very complicated word, solid to us, it's really made up of molecules or atoms. And atoms, we've given lots of names to what some of the behaviors. If you were in school, when you and I were in school in the 50s, the model was a little center thing in the middle, and an electron went around and around it. It was seen as a ball that went around and around it. And as we start to look at, say, well, let's see what this ball looks like. I want to be able to examined that little thing called an electron, we found that there was nothing there. There wasn't the thing. It was simply a cloud of energy that we can call an electron. So we already started to see mysterious things as we go into very super small quantities, quantum physics. So quantum physics started to go into the very small, and at very small distances, we see things that we can't explain. We just cannot explain.
How am I doing on time?
Again, another one of the Feynman quotes.
And boom. So what do you guys think of that? Ooh,
It's very interesting how he was interested in quantum physics.
Man,
From wanting every
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, from wanting every aspect of its understanding to better make use of it. Like back with what's his name? Yeah, his uncle John George Trump.
Jeffrey.
He was a prominent. Oh yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Because I wanted to read what you sent me. You can read it if you want to. What you sent me.
Yeah.
Would you like to read it?
It was. Yeah.
Please do.
So, Donald Trump's uncle, John George Trump, was a prominent physicist and electrical engineer known for his work in MIT. He specialized in high voltage generator and cancer treatment technologies. And he jumped ship on the family real estate empire to dive deep into physics and electrical engineering at a time when those fields were relatively starved for money. He never got rich doing science, but he was certainly successful, earning the likes of Robert J. Van de Graaff on high voltage atom smashers that tremendously contributed to the understanding of the atom. The application of the same science to treat cancer through radiation, which means one of the principal tools to fight against the dread disease. So high voltage engineering requires quantum physics to make people treat certain cancers, maybe skin cancers, since you know how those that lack melanin often are those that get skin cancer because they spend too much time in the sun.
So once again, they're studying you. They know you more than you know yourself. And I'm not speaking to Larry. I'm speaking to all of us. When I was in Kemet with Ashra Kwesi, he said a quote. He said, where do you think they're getting all these melatonin pills from? Where do you think they're getting melanin from? You know, they're getting it from you, you know, because they study you. They know you. They know you more than yourself. They have to keep you distracted with Jesus worship, God worship, Super Bowl, holidays, birthday, you having a job or a job for them. Our people are the only group of people who celebrate working for white people. When you go into Mexican restaurants, do you see black people working? No.
Nope.
When you go into Chinese restaurants, do you? When you go into major white corporations, do you see us like that? Asia. So really, we're the only people who enjoy being enslaved.
For real.
and they're studying us. Every time you go to work, either like Larry said, they're lying, trying to get you in trouble, trying to always cause trauma because they know they have to keep you in disarray. That's hence why it's so-called black men, we died, our fathers and elders, black men die early. It's because, can you imagine our fathers dealing with this bullshit, going to fucking work, and then you're learning that, imagine, at least for me, a brother who knows this, but has to keep it a secret because his wife, because the majority of black women worship the devil.
Yep.
The majority of black women worship Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. And regardless how you want to paint it in 2026, when a black woman says she worships Jesus Christ as her Lord and Savior, who does he look like? Does he look like you and I, Brother Larry? Or does he look like Jeffrey Epstein? You're echoing. I think you got
definitely like them.
Exactly.
Oh,
so
yeah, he was. Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you can go ahead.
So basically, black women subconsciously, not saying they do purposely, even though you'll learn about your favorite, which is crazy. Nikki is running her mouth when she participated, and she's from the island, so she knows all about that. Her name is Nikki.
Exactly.
Nikki, watch Adam Sandler's movie, Little Nikki. Nicki Minaj, that means devil. So she's the devil, and she introduced bisexuality on a massive scale. Minaj, she did that. Hence why she's under Donald Trump. She's under Donald Trump, and she's talking about Jay-Z. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and then I also told you, like in that last video, her real name also sounds similar to Mirage. She gives the mirage to what you perceive her.
Wow. Hence the black woman is she's become the devil. She's become the devil. And if you look on TV, what do you see? Black women fighting each other. Black women turning to the caveman. So you have that. And then black women always accepting the devil. The black woman accepted gang banging. It was black women who you accepted that. Y'all did that. And then without a father, so you accepted that. And so at the end of the day, you're dealing with black women who are being rewarded for worshiping Jesus. Those are the black women in charge. The so-called black women who understand the concept of Kemet, even if they are the banging the Yahweh and Yahshua, they're not putting up with the black Christian woman, because when they go in on an interview, that's what they're going to ask you. They're eventually going to get to a God question, a Jesus question, a question to figure out what type of so-called nigger or black person you are, or if you're going to be trouble. They're not going to hire you if you're a conscious so-called black person. Hence why they used to make black men and people cut off their dreadlocks 10, 20, 40 years ago. You couldn't get no job like that wearing dreadlocks. Your afro. We are.
And
being,
then
go ahead.
And then they women and all these other people hair products so it could look straight.
Exactly.
Even chemicals. Yep.
And they tried to do that. Well, they did do that with the brothers with the Jerry curl, if you remember. They had the Jerry curl.
Oh yeah, Jerry curls.
And so I remember the Malcolm X scene. You remember when he had straightened his hair? I know people didn't like it, but he was straightening his hair and there was no water, so he had to stick his head in the toilet. I don't know if you guys remember
Yeah,
the
because his scalp was burning every time he applied his red dye.
Yes,
Yep.
and they just found studies that dyeing hair makes people go crazy. Hence why you see black women, they're promoting that. Like Larry said, not just the weaves, but dyeing their hair, all this satanic stuff. Black women are getting BBLs and lip injections and Botox when the so-called cave woman was doing it to copy them. This is how insane the black woman has become. And so she is the first teacher. She teaches her son. She teaches her son. So if all this debauchery is being accepted by the black woman, that's what that new world is going to be, which is Chris Tucker. So you'll have like I saw the brother win the slam dunk contest last night. This nigga's all fruity and shit. I was like, damn. The masculine, big ass buff niggas are, hey girl, wearing purses. So they done sissified the brutes in a homosexual, collective homosexual group of black men in rulership. In that fashion, pose no threat to white supremacy. And that's why we feminize our men. Because if they can feminize our so-called biggest, baddest giants and make them focus on their feminine in a satanic way, not in a divine goddess way. Because if you're worshiping the divine goddess, you're going to use that because you know we're going to have to protect our women and children. Because very soon in the last finales of the Matrix, they're going to have to kidnap black people at an alarming rate, and particularly black women and children. This is why they don't want polyamory or polygamy to take place, is because they want black women alone. They want black women thinking that it's winning. And so now you're dealing with a group of black women who control your penis. They control it. They get the Mother's Day. They get the love from the family. They get the love from their kids. But the man has to go out and work, gets abused. Father's Day is half-ass. And so now the black woman the black woman tells you can't have the woman that naturally wants you. And what it is, it's a love thing. Because the creator and you as the creator in the universe and nature designed you as a sex god, a god, to be able to handle that. And so since the black woman gets so much mi amor and love, that's what gives you love as a so-called god and amor, is when you're able to control. And when we say control, we're saying this in a loving way, having multiple wives. That's what the antiquity essence is, to when a woman chooses you as the god, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, 4, or 5, however many y'all together can handle. Because now you're seeing women say, oh, nigga, you gotta have this, gotta have that. It's like, sister, you're the one who's choosing. But so they're getting the concept wrong as well. And so it ends poverty in the so-called black community. And so that's what they don't want. If a righteous brother has 4 wives who are on the program of similar to what we're talking about, freedom, that's wealth, because they give money to the black woman. They have to keep her happy. They have to keep her wealthy because she controls the world. The so-called black woman she is the creator of the Matrix. Hence why she can either free us or enslave us, because it is her world. She's the original Satan. She's the original devil. We come up out of her womb. We come into the artificial matrix through the womb. So the black woman is the original devil, or as God.
Yeah, like what's that? Yeah, like in the Hindu mythology, you ever heard of Kali? the goddess Kali.
Yes.
Yeah, like she has heads of several men on her as a necklace.
Yes.
And then what was that? Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That one dude who was shouting Kali Ma. Yeah, like Kali and Ma, like Mama. Yeah.
Maya, hence Mayans, blood sacrificing, Mayat, Mayan. And so it's balanced. And that's when we learn about the priesthood, Osiris and Set, you know, good superheroes, bad superheroes. That's exactly what we're dealing with. So when we see that they want the black woman to be Sekhmet angry, I start looking at what Jeffrey Epstein is saying. Let's see if you can guys understand this picture I drew for y'all. It goes like this. These are the atoms and photons and neurons. And this would be like matter. So let's see if I can flip it the way that. So you see Maya. So what if Maya is Maya? Same education system. Matter.
Yep.
Atoms, photons, neurons, and electrons is what he's talking about. And so you have a sound, a sonic sound wave. Shout out to one of the homies, Sonic Sound Wavius, a battle rapper from Los Angeles. So sonic sound waves, hence Sonic Moorish Hedgehog. Hence Sonic Hedgehog represents you as the Moor who needs to find his Quan, his small self, his quantum atom, which deals with Kim. And who is Kim? We must see Kim. Seek and then hence they have Sikh in Islam. So seek who? Seek Kim. Seek Kim, and then who is that? They'll either say Sekhmet, or I say it says see Kemet. Seek Kemet, and it leads to freedom.
See Kemet.
Freedom.
That goes hard.
So that means that free guy is symbolism of when you break the fear. And his black best friend in the movie Free Guy is played by Uncle Larry, the brother in Get Out. In the movie Get Out, his friend who called the cops plays his best friend in Free Guy. And once you see Kemet, you become free. And you're no longer, it's a free guy and it's a free dome. And that means that at the end, like they showed you in Free Guy, there's another landmass that's going to appear. And all of it takes is one of us to find it. And it starts in the mind. Quantum level. So this is why you know it's about to happen, because guess who just revealed it right now?
There are times where prying information out of the bowels of an agency can be challenging.
UFOs? Any UFOs? Did you ask about that?
Certainly asked about it.
And?
Can't tell you.
And that's Colbert.
Sorry.
Okay.
Who did the blood sacrifice joke
earlier. You'd say there was none, right? You just played your hand. I thought you were a poker player. You just 100% showed your river card.
Feel free to think that.
I do. There's so much that makes me happy to think that you won't tell me about
Can
UFOs.
I say it used to be that UFOs was the and what is it? Roswell was the biggest conspiracy, and now that seems so tame, right?
Right.
The idea that the government might have an alien spaceship. That's
now
nothing.
the biggest conspiracy is people in Michigan vote. Let's take another quick break. We'll be right back with more President Barack Obama.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51 There's no underground facility unless there's this enormous conspiracy and they hid it from the president of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens? Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the president of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Pretty dramatic episodes and incidents on infrared. Let's walk through some of them. You've got one that it's called the Mothership Fleet. Tell us about that video, October 2017, what the circumstances were, where you were, and what you saw.
Certainly. Thanks, George, for asking about that sighting. That's probably the best reporting I've shot to date. And this took place at Long Beach, in Long Beach, California. I had just purchased a new home there, and I was in my backyard just doing yard work, actually, one day when I looked up and saw this tremendous blob of light in the sky, this huge, white, elongated light. And this looked a little different than most of the normal objects I see, which are typically orbs or circular objects. This was kind of like an elongated tube. Now, when I saw this object, I immediately grabbed my camera, which is an infrared recording camera. I use a Canon SX60, which has been modified to record in full spectrum to see these other ranges of light that we can't see with our eyes. So once I put the camera on this big glowing light in the sky, all these smaller orbs were released from the object, which was just fascinating. And I'll add the first 3 objects that came out of this portal light were in a triangular formation, which is very rare and also a commonality in these sightings.
So those triangle then formed like sort of a vertical line. It changed shapes too. So what was that display about? What was going on there? They were just trying to wow you?
I think it's just, I'm someone who avidly records these anomalies. I share them with the public, and I believe the more that you record them, the better the performances get. So in this case, I've been recording for about 8 or 9 years before I had this recording. And I just believe it wanted to share that moment with me on film to share with the world. And then the more important point is this triangular formation of objects that came out at the beginning. I've had 3 other sightings that were also triangular formations, and that's a way for us to communicate with each other, to know that we are interacting, and it's kind of a basic form of visual display. That
and for those
pretty dramatic episode.
And for those of us who have witnessed sightings and communicated with extraterrestrials and had those experiences firsthand, I can speak of mine to where when I first started in college, even more, and they would blink. Like I would be like, am I tripping? And they would blink. They would change colors, go to green. I said, they're letting me know that they are communicating. So once again, whether it's breath techniques, yoga, eating psilocybin and plant medicine, even though in our conscious community, there's people who demonize it. I say us as Olmecs and Mers and Moors and indigenous people were tripping on psychedelics the whole time to raise your consciousness, because just like you eat food, you can eat plants, smoke them, and raise your vibration. And so we could communicate with higher entities when you eat that. Hence why it's called Mother Nature. Mother Netter. And who are the Netters? The Netters are what you call the gods and deities of ancient El Kemet. And what were we saying earlier? When you seek El Kemet and you see Kemet, it can get you free. And that's why they demonize ancient Kemet, which we know is Egypt today, and demonize the original Kemetians, who we call Egyptians today, because if they can demonize us, we won't study ourselves. Meanwhile, they trap us in these cities and harvest our energy because we understood circuit boards. So our ancient cities were built on that. And so imagine the vibration and the consciousness of our ancient cities, of what we were innovating and creating, and what they did when they destroyed it, when they knocked down our radio towers that allowed us to communicate. But it also, once again, made us stronger, because most likely it seems that we were relying on technology too much, and now we're relying on ourselves again. So when we apply technology this time, we are more self-reliant on ourselves and understand the power within. So once again, we can have a reciprocal relationship with the robots, because we're going to need the robots and the AI on our side. And for me, that's what's also going to happen, to where the robots are going to become, which they already are, because they already exist. That's why they show you Voltron and Transformers. There's robots in the universe who are on our side, who the government, like Epstein and them, are using for bad things, like the quantum computing. So as much as they think they're getting away with things, there's extraterrestrials, our ancestors, who are observing. Hence why they always say that extraterrestrials shut down nuclear plants and all this stuff. It's because they're watching. They're sitting right here, just vibrating on a different frequency. Hence why they say the all-seeing eye, you never get away with anything, because entities, your ancestors, are always watching you. You're being recorded. When you see an animal looking at you a certain way, they're recording you. When you see a scarab beetle during the summer months and it comes, that's us as ancestors recording you. Hence why they say they wish that you were a fly on the wall, because every insect, every animal records everything, and it shoots it back to the mothership, the motherboard, the source. So once again, they have to trap you in harvest.
I'm back.
Thanks, brother. They have to harvest our mind. Hence why mining gold. So our mind is the treasure. So as long as they distract us from our smallest self, which is within, the greatest gift that it seems in the known universe was hidden in the mind of so-called highly melanated people, we have a treasure that once we unlock within, no other being can access. So they're trying to keep us, so when one of us as a Messiah wakes up, they can go with us to that other world. Hence why hopefully some of us can separate, and we can activate these DNA codes. And for me, it's when you can literally become the superheroes they show you in the movies. And then it's like, what is going to be your mind state? And that's also what they fear. You're going to be a Sekhmet? Are you going to be a divine goddess? Are you going to be like the Black Adam, like they say, to where you're destroying everything? Are you going to come in peace like a Meteor Man, where Meteor Man, or Jason in the Lost Pyramid, Jason, he went around the world with his superpowers, creating food forests, dropping seeds and herbs, and growing forests of food to end world hunger. So like Meteor Man, he stuck his hand in the ground, and a farm grew up in the hood. And so those are the type of movies and films we definitely got to tap into. But basically, you are the superhero. You are the extraterrestrial. And so they have to use your blood. They have to kidnap our people, put them in cities that imagine, like I said, kids who've been kidnapped, women who've been kidnapped and gave birth in these cities and underground facilities. Hence why they show you Stranger Things. Any thing you wanted to say, brother? And Stranger Things is a show on Netflix, y'all. Go watch it. It taps into real events that took place in facilities, whether it's the Jason experiments, the Jason Society, and all those great, wonderful experiments that they did on us, right? To really, they're just trying to figure out the codes in our brain. Like in the movie Flight of the Navigator that came out through Disney. In the movie Flight of the Navigator, the young boy was abducted. He came back in a different time period, hadn't aged. And when the NASA connected the wires to his brain, he was showing star maps. So once again,
through quantum computing and understanding Kemet. Kemet is the education system, like we study the Dogon, the Dagon of Endinkra codes, which match the quantum computing codes to the universe, which is a matrix hologram. Therefore, you can bend the hologram, space and time. Hence that you are a time traveler. Hence why they give you time to travel dimensions in dreams, days, months, years, Kali, calendar, Kali. And so, like you were saying, Cali, Califia, California, they had the Tupac, the thug movement. Thugs were demons. But also Califia, we learn about the Amazonian women, to where they got fed up with men, and the only men that they dealt with, this is when Jason and the Argonauts comes in, because Jason was allowed to have sex with Queen Califia and the Amazonian woman. Hence, that means that certain men in the future, for certain women, they're only going to want certain men's sperm or bloodline, because certain men, as you see, weren't supposed to be reproducing their bloodline, and other men were supposed to. And once again, that's why they don't want a righteous polymary polygamy to occur in the Moorish community, because if it's reversed like Figueroa and reversed like pimping, if women aren't selling their pussy but going out with the mind state of resurrecting her nation, and when she figures out that she is what you call God or God is a woman, a womb, the womb man, they want her to act like Jada Pinkett in the movie Woo. Sekhmet, the wicked witch, the wicked watch. That's why they came out with Wicked. Once again, demonizing the black woman, our mothers, because we have to. So I'm saying I have to showcase to my mother again how great she is by being great. And by me being great and showing her I'm God, and that I come from her, in hopes that if it's not your mother, or hopefully it's your fiance or wife or your friend, and that the woman can see the greatness in you, and they want to invest in your vision. Because once you're free, you now can free the woman. And then we protect them, because once the women come online, that's when the mothership arrives, because it's a collective consciousness. Once we start thinking it, enough of us think it and say, okay, we want this type of world, free energy, no poverty, no racism. We can create that. We have that power. Hence, when gangster rap and hip hop came out, look at the outcome. The outcome was a subliminal homosexual thug movement, and then it was done to destroy the black male, so he destroys himself. Hence that term, you're headed for self-destruction, headed for self-destruction. You remember that song?
And then let's also not forget, like, during that time, they also, what was it? Yeah, they were pushing drugs, and it also helped further destroy that community of what hip-hop originally wanted to be, which was straight building, making communities.
Yes. Listen, I'm listening.
Exactly. Like, ever since the crack epidemic, everything that we once were building, even gangs during that time, they were going for fist fights and just saying like, hey, get out of our block, you're not from here. And we're protecting our women and children from these devils. But now, when they introduced guns and drugs, it went from petty fist fights to just straight up shooting, killing, and stealing.
Wow.
And addicts everywhere.
Talk about it, brother. Talk about it. It's created drug addicts, popularized gang banging from its original term, and sets because it was all us as so-called Moors and Moors escaping the Indian Wars. Hence why the Williams family escaping Louisiana, bringing in the knowledge to Compton, Long Beach, South Central Watts, the Baker family, the Thompsons, different Richardsons, those type of families, Browns coming from Louisiana, bringing in that ancient information that was hidden. But once again, like you said, the drugs hit, heroin, crack, and then on top of that, they gave a soundtrack for the Black devils in the community to have grander dreams of being a devil, because once the gangster rap came through Dr. Dre popularizing it, right? He performed surgery on the mind of Black youth on the song Let Me Ride, when he sampled George Clinton talking about spaceships and us elevating to higher levels of consciousness. Dr. Dre said it's the end of Black conscious rap. He said no more black fists, no more black medallions, just gangster rap that'll make a gangster snap. Word to the motherfucking streets. And when he did that, it was subliminal, subconscious to young, impressionable kids and teenagers to drop the black fist and to drop being proud of our heritage, which eventually would rise out of blackness and turn into nationhood. And he introduced Snoopy. And who is Snoopy? Snoopy's a character, a cartoon character, you know. And so right there, they hypnotized Black youth, and here we are today. And so when we look at the video of Peter Nygaard, Jeffrey Epstein's associate, attempted to purchase babies from Black women so he could drain their blood, he quoted, "I'll buy 60,000 worth of eggs, umbilical cords, and placenta. Even your period blood is so rich with stem cells." Everyone watching this, go look up billionaire Peter Nygaard, accused of targeting Black women for DNA and stem cells. And so right here, Jeffrey Epstein and Peter Nygaard connected to adrenochrome. Lady Gaga had an album talking about adrenochrome. Go watch the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas with Johnny Depp in Las Vegas, and they're drinking adrenochrome, and then they start talking about lizards. Watch it. And so once again, Jeffrey Epstein's, they said, stick a secret out, a super race using his DNA. And so they found out that Jeffrey Epstein was in Riverside at the Mission Inn. And what do I always tell you every episode about the Mission Inn? There's tunnels all throughout Riverside. Let me show you what the Mission Inn looks like. It's the land of the Moors, because Califia is a title, but the Moors and Moors were here. And when we study the Moors and Moors of California, Riverside, it is my theory that the Moors and Moors went to war here, and it took place here. And that's why the Mission Inn also holds significance, because if you watch the music video by Drew Hill, these are the times we all wish for, a moment to last me so much more. If you watch that video, it was filmed at Mission Inn. I'm echoing on your phone, brother. You gotta mute me. They had Drew Hill on the Mission Inn property with the Slavics. They had slaves. They showed the conquistadors as Moors with the pimped out hair like a Macklemores, right? Hence Macklemore became a rapper, because the word Mac is a Moor, hence that. And so a Mac had the white women back in the day, Matt Dre. They had to kill him too, in Kansas City, I believe, Missouri. And so they had the pimped out hair in the video. And so Mission Inn has underground tunnels that connect to the Air Force Base. And so I did specials. You can go look at it years ago, where I connected the underground tunnel system of Riverside County to cities like Hemet, which is ancient Kemet. And so Riverside County, like I teach, is another home base and colony of ancient Egypt that connected the Grand Canyon through the Colorado River and the Santa Ana River. So Riverside County and San Bernardino County was also El Morocco, Jerusalem. And so right there, it's an education system, meaning that wherever you go, you can set up Jerusalem or Jerusalem. Jerusalem is basically sun worship, and you are the sun god. And so you, as the sun god, set up that education system. And as always, you have your woman, your mother, your divine goddess. And so, and that, once again, I know I wanted to tie into the polymary. So once again, with that, don't let me forget that, Larry Daniels. But with Jerry Epstein, he was at the Mission Inn. And so here is the outside of the Mission Inn. So look at the lips right there. We're at the Mission Inn, the historic Mission Inn where all the presidents stay. So look at the lips. That's a brother. Look at the nose, still knocked off, and look, that looks like a fez on top. So right there, we have Moors and Moors, Black Indians, still statues destroyed intact. Once again, this proves that we are the true Mesoamericans, and not only that, we are the true builders of the Mission Inn Hotel. How do we know? Why are there Moorish statues outside of the Mission Inn Hotel that they still allow for some of us to see? That most of you probably have been coming here all your life and never noticed, because most of the world is under a curse. And so if you're under a curse, which is mind control, you're not going to see things that are directly in front of you. But you only have a little bit of time to wake up, because like I teach, when the mothership arrives, if you don't have enough information, you can't ascend. You're going to be trapped here on the lower realm. Jason. There's someone on the balcony already. So yeah, we're gonna start doing tours of Riverside County. And those tours are gonna include all the castles, all the Moorish castles in Riverside County. And then we're gonna break down the names of the cities in Riverside County. We have a Sun City, that's Amun-Ra, Palm Springs, Osiris, Blythe, where the alien extraterrestrial antiglows are. The Nile Riverside, Corona represents the Crown Lake Elsinore. Hemet is Kemet, Moreno Valley, land of the Moors. So all Redlands, we have an Indio. When you go to Redlands, there's multiple castles downtown. Same with San Bernardino. Every city you go to in Riverside County and San Bernardino County, you will find these advanced structures, because we have always been here. We are the founders of this nation, the creators of civilization, of math, science, architecture. And this is proof right here that us as Moors built this castle not too long ago.
Did you know there's a castle in the city of Riverside?
And so right there, so yeah, Mission Inn Hotel, where all the presidents stay, underground tunnels, pyramids all throughout here. So they're out here. And once again, Erica Kurt, a few episodes ago, I told you her first stop was in Riverside for her Let's Make Heaven Crowded, meaning I took let's perform blood sacrifices, because making heaven crowded, that means people have to die in their realm. So once again, blood sacrificing, child sacrificing, child human trafficking, through Riverside County and all throughout the world, connected to the cabal, which is going to be the fall of the so-called white man's world. Hence why you see Tupac on the rise and Amaru and all his enemies falling. And this is why conscious hip hop, and you see this on the rise, because it's all about us. We win. And so I wanted to show y'all one more thing, but it's all good. And then as we start closing it out too, Sandusky. I always felt that this was wrapped under the rug, and this is linked to Jeffrey Epstein. Penn State University, y'all, was known worldwide as one of the top football programs in the world, and they were connected to one of the biggest child human trafficking incidences ever caught. And for Joe Paterno, he retired right after the scandal and died mysteriously from cancer immediately. Why? Is because either he was going to squill and he knew too much. He knew about all that. The testimony said that the coaches will walk and see this man to the right, Jerry Sandusky, raping young black boys. And so there was a funnel system of football camps and youth camps and all these things. Adoption, once again, that system, to where they were funneling black boys and they were raping them, and the coaches knew. So imagine other universities that didn't get caught. So once again, the whole society is based off of torturing us as Murs and Moors and Indians, so-called black people. It never stopped. And you can't say, I mean, you should be up and believing in a God that allows this. And so it's their God. That's why they said turn the other cheek. Their God said it was okay to enslave you and do all these things. It's because they want to keep you in this realm. They want to keep you in hell. And the moment they want to keep you in that state of mind. Boom. There you go. That state of mind to where you are basically subconsciously dead. You're in the land of the dead, the Hiram Abiff, mentally dead, Osiris. And so as Jason, I grabbed the golden fleece. I have the golden fleece now, and now we're building our nation. We're showing people again, like so many others, the reality of the so-called illusion. The white man's world, even though there's no such thing as a white person, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The illusion of his perspective on reality is about to end, and you must prepare, because it's a world. Just like in a video game, there's different worlds within worlds. So just like in the movie Free Guy, thanks to the brother who reminded me to go watch it. Yeah, I have to watch it in full. I watched a bunch of clips. There's another landmass that he discovers at the end of the movie once he frees his mind. And it also deals with the goggles. And so for they're going to put the Easter egg, meaning like in Ready Player One, I'm echoing again, brother. In Ready Player One, one of the creators of the world, he puts an Easter egg. And when I say Easter egg, like Easter egg hunts as kids where there's a treasure. Clearly, they've militarized the physical plane so much to where it's hard for us to find different lands and search for treasures, which are devices and books and scrolls to activate our minds. And then they control certain monument areas. So basically, those of us who are immortals and have ascended, and time travelers who are on our side, who they can't find, they're leaving us clues to discover that we're in a matrix hologram. So don't let them demonize those who have ascended in immortality and all these things. They're the ones exposing them. So basically, don't lose that thought, that when you become an immortal again, or get to that level, there's like in Free Guide, you see all these other things going on. So when he put on the glasses, he saw what they would call people with glasses, superheroes, and they felt less than as NPCs, non-player characters, until he put on the glasses and saw that the people with the glasses were just like everyone else, blah blah blah, and that's us.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Then it also could also correlate to like what's that other movie? You remember hey, hold on. Yeah, They Live with Roddy Piper.
Yes.
Like when you put on the glasses, you see everything messed up.
Yes. And that's because I remember reading a book about Da Vinci in college, and he had I say Da Vinci as a group, the illuminated ones. We created glasses using whether it was amethyst or some type of clear stones and crystals, and you could see the light spectrum. There's a movie called 13 Ghosts. It's a horror film. It's with Rod Digger, and they put on glasses like Larry was saying, and they could see another light spectrum. And so that's what, once again, you're dealing with. Same thing with the virtual reality glasses. That's what I was saying. So they're gonna put those of us who are on our side, who are doing this as well, helping us, they're gonna put clues in the metaverse to where you can win an award. Basically, like I'll give this clue: Ready Player One. They taught us to go forward, just go forward, believe what we believe. When in all actuality, when you watch Ready Player One, he eventually discovers that he has to go and turn around, and that the whole society's going the wrong direction. Just like Marty, Martian, Marty McFly. That's you as a Marty McFly. You're a Moor. You have to turn around and travel back in time in the mind, back to the future, because the future is the past and the past is the future. Therefore, the present is now. Literally, the present is the gift. And that's
who controls the past controls the future, and who controls the future controls the past.
Yes, and that's the gift of life, to figure it out before you go to the afterlife and have to watch it on like some TV screen or something, or get trapped here as a ghost because you did some effed up stuff and tortured, all these things, because that's why we don't believe in death. You never die. That's why we call it the afterlife. Because after life, there's another reality. Hence why you're always supposed to be righteous. Because I am you and you are I. If I love you and you reciprocate that love, you're doing it to yourself basically in another form. No matter if a person is blue, two heads, gay, straight, as long as they're of love and have that frequency, that spreads. And that's what they did. The parasites made us hate, they popularized hate. They popularized being so-called satanic, set lower. And so basically now, in order to be famous or in order to get attention, you have to be a devil in their world. And that's because they want to trap more people on this lower realm, because the more people they trap, the more the world, this realm exists. The more lower frequency black people they can trap here, they can still build worlds that they can never build. It'll just be another form of hell. But for those of us who can escape the Matrix hologram to the other side, that's free. And you become the free guy, a free supersonic being. Hence Mason, Jason. As I look at it like that, I become Jason, July, August, September, October, November. And to me, that's my gift, is finding home. E.T., extraterrestrial, E.T., phone home. Cuckoo! And as we start closing it out, Steven Spielberg's movie, Disclosure Day. So all throughout the reality, people are being prepped into the new world already. It's erasing the old world of thoughts of no UFOs being a lie, aliens being a lie, Donald Trump not winning the 2024 president. If they could switch that, that's time travel. If they can convince you that Jesus Christ, even though there's no J in the Hebrew alphabet, but if they can convince you that a white man is God and that Jesus is your Lord and Savior, they can trap you in a hologram. Because if you believe that you die and you have that consciousness, that's when they trap you here for eternity. Hence why they say when you give your soul, your son, your spirit to Jesus, you live for eternity, but you have to serve him for eternity in that realm. And that's a prison, because eternity isn't a sentence, that's forever. And that's hell with a smile. Anything to say, brother?
Yep. Like put you in this box that you can't get out of.
A cell.
Yep.
CEL, and a cell in the physical prison, a cell, which is your atoms, photons, neurons, and electrons. So when we unlock our cells, which are elves, you become an L. Elves are magical beings that came from the center of the earth. Wow. So now that means we're searching to go to the center of the earth, the middle earth. What were you gonna say? I didn't want to interrupt you, my bad.
No, you good.
And so NBA All-Star Weekend, once again, February, Black History Month, them showcasing how they have the Murs and Moors and indigenous giants and people, the aliens, under observance. Right here through the NBA, they watch you. Wow, look at him fly. Oh my God, he's 6'10" and can do that. Now they got a 7'6" giant doing things that no one can do. They observe you in these organizations. Like Brother Larry was saying in the movie Get Out, with the slave auction being mocked. That's what this is when you watch the NBA and NFL. It's a modern day slave auction so they can observe you. So imagine the cloning that they're doing once again. And so that's why they had to create these kids right here. The Island Boys. That's what it is. Hence the Island Boys. The Island Boys of Jeffrey Epstein's cloning facility. And don't they look ambiguous? Don't they look a little mixed? Look at them. So now you're dealing with products that they're showing you of cloning. To the bottom left, y'all, look at their curly hair. So it's showing you that it's already taking place. They're mixing his DNA with your DNA, and their goal is to create a super race to rule over you. Hence why they had to turn you into a black person, a white person, a brown person, a yellow person, to strip you of your nationality when you were free and had your own culture. So they want you to worship the elite of Hollywood in order to manipulate your mind, that the goal is to win in the material world, when the goal is to win in the metaphysical world, the occult, the unknown, the unseen, and then those who left it in matter. And so here we are right here, the Island Boys, and they were trying their hardest for these young so-called Island Boys to blow up in rap, because they've been trying their hardest with Eminem, which melts under the sun. And Eminem, they've been trying their hardest for the so-called white man to be the face of hip-hop. That's why they're using the Lefty Gunplay character to get the Latinos and the young Mexican boys militarized and have them gangbangers. As the Lefty Gunplay guy said, he said he would never allow, or he would not allow his daughter to date a black guy, because that's the frequency and state of mind of his culture. So right there, any so-called black person or Hollywood black person who's pushing Lefty Gunplay is part of the agenda to destroy Mexican boys. To say it's okay for Mexican boys to do drugs. It's okay to be a gangbanger. You can be famous like Lefty Gunplay. Same thing that they did with Snoop Dogg and all these other gangster rappers. If you look, I guarantee you'll find the same so-called white Jews next to the same famous rappers who promoted death culture to our community. The same program directors, the same descendants of CIA agents, either righteous, those of us who would come from righteous military family backgrounds, because you got to remember, not all wicked people are in the CIA. Not all wicked people are part of the police. Not all wicked people are part of all these organizations that are being demonized. You got to remember, we are the illuminated ones. We are the Illuminati. The Knights of Templar, we were murdered on Friday the 13th. And just like Jason, I always say, in my past life, I've been hung, beheaded, set on fire, drowned, all these things in my past life that I can remember. Hence why I personally believe that this dream, I'm trying to find my dream, and that's freedom. But it's Jason for me. July, August, September, October, November. This is my realm. This is my dream that I built. I built this matrix through, of course, the beautiful goddess, the mother, the divine goddess allowed me to experience this, whether it's to enhance my abilities to become the best superhero I can be. Sometimes I think I'm punished, hence the term Lucifer, Lucy, light, meaning that the term of getting trapped in light code lockdown. I'm an infinite light being that was curious about Earth and didn't listen to my father and went down just like Lion King and Simba. And we went down to Earth and we got trapped here for millions of years. And so it could be that. And so it's a lot of different stories that of past lives that I try my best to answer, of why I wake up in this realm, because I do remember a lot of my dreams. And that's why the schools, their schools don't teach us what we call the my story, the mystery schools, because the mystery schools answer your dreams. Because once you can answer the levels of dreams, that dimensions you're going to, and you come here, the present gift, now you can control all those realms and bring them together. And that's what they fear, is you becoming what they call and describe as God, an all-knowing being that comes one with the universe.
For real.
Like Lucy, the movie Lucy, she becomes one with the Matrix. And so you being Lucifer, getting trapped in the light bearer. So you still have the infinite light. Hence why in Boys in the Hood, the sister who plays a superhero, she looked at Ice Cube. She said, how do you know that God is a he? He could be a she. Hence why possibly they call you the son of God, because you are a descendant of the creatress, which is the black woman who they don't know where she comes from. Who created her? She's an extraterrestrial. So if we come from her, who created her? And so now we know that there's other worlds, there's other dimensions, there's other intelligent life throughout the universe. We can prove it through us as melanated people. And that's why these other entities want to experience this matrix through you. Hence why they have to lower your frequency low, like a so-called Caucasian, a dead Asian, black person, which is so-called white. So a person who lacks melanin, they're able to get possessed easily. Hence why the ancients say that they would use them like the pig, and like they'll use the pig in poltergeist ceremonies when they remove an entity out of someone's body, put it in the pig and sacrifice it. And they said that they created the pale skinned mankind to feed the entities, and that really the pale skin's meat is what the extraterrestrials like, and that they're trying to season you for the extraterrestrials to like your meat. But originally, when you're bearing your light, when your hue, when your sonic sound waves are vibrating of love and righteousness, they can't eat you. Hence why your bad friends and bad people get sick. They start sneezing, they start glitching around you, or they get mad. It's because your light literally makes them glitch. Just like the police sound, they're using sound instruments to make people go crazy. Hence why the first and rare back-to-back Friday the 13th run starts today. February 13th, 2026, then March 13th, 2026. And as always, Jason, Crystal Lake, the mask, the subconscious, them wanting myself, they wanted me to turn Hollywood, to be angry, to know I was done wrong. He had a deformity in his head. He wore the mask, drowned, similar to my story. That's an initiation story. But him still being mad. But I was able to be Jason in the Argonauts and get the golden fleece, deal with Calithia, you know, and now I'm dealing with the empresses and teaching the goddess principle of why brothers such as me deserve to have a queen. And there's always one empress or empresses in other lands rule, not for sex, but to be infinite, to experience the Matrix video game on a higher level, because I've accomplished certain levels. Just like Mario Brothers, the higher level you go, it becomes more difficult, but the lower levels train you to be able to deal with the higher levels that are faster, the enemies are more vicious, and then you got to meet the final boss, King Koopa, the lizard. And once you defeat your inner lizard, you become King Koopa. You become the lizard. And so you either become the wicked lizard, reptile, serpent, or you're righteous. Hence why King Koopa, he's a brother. And then if you watch the original Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo, the queen of that realm who's holding the necklace is a black Moorish woman, and she's in red. And it's the so-called white woman under the Brooklyn sewers. And we just showed you the connection with what the Brooklyn sewers connected to, not just Epstein and the extraterrestrials. Where is it?
Yep,
the
secret tunnels.
Here you go. Here we go. The secret tunnels of the Jews related to Pizza Party. Hence why Ninja Turtles were ripping apart the pizza. It was cold. It was cold for the children. So I always wondered as a kid, why does Michelangelo, because I liked Michelangelo, he was my favorite. Why did they love pizza? And maybe probably like pizza more too. But it was subliminal messaging, y'all, of them making a mockery of us, of turtles, basically intelligent humanoid reptiles, some crafted, some using DNA, but basically humanoid reptiles that could walk and talk, that would come and fight crime. But then I'm sure they might have had a series where they were dark and doing bad things, you know, because there was the other mutants that were doing bad things like Shredder, Rocksteady, and Bebop, who were clearly black and they made into hip hop. Usagi Yojimbo was the White Rabbit. Look up White Rabbit, Web Nut, Weeb Nut. There's a god and a goddess in Egypt, Kemet. There's a White Rabbit god. I want y'all to look this up. The White Rabbit god is called Web Nut. Webnut. Web Nut or Weeb Nut. A Weeb Nut. And Nut is a goddess. And what do? We bust a nut. We bust a nut. We crack the dome. We crack the sky dome. We crack the woman's egg with the sperm. Hence why you come into the matrix as a sperm. And then they have a sperm whale. And what are whales? Whales are mammals. So you are a shapeshifter. You started off an infinite being, came in here through ejection, so ejaculation, so that means you were in like some type of chair, like they showed you Total Recall, strapped in, and they injected you in some type of video game. And their goal is to trap you in the solar system. Hence why they call it the solar system. That's probably the name of the video game company. And so with what's called the Ninja Turtles, they have to get the kids. Hence why they have Northwest, and North Star is the Polaris star, which takes you home. But if they can manipulate us now to put the attention to kids, which like Kanye said is basically we should never be talking about, but it's a subject that they put into the algorithm to sexualize the kids. Why? Because they want to bring forth the reality that they did under the same sun, to where Caucasian men and other men walked around with children legally in Rome. It was legal, hence Valentine's Day.
Real.
Valentine's Day just passed. And that's the love that a Caucasian had for a little boy. And then they would rape the kids and blood sacrifice them, drink their blood for youth, and then give them to the extraterrestrial beings. They show you the statue of Moloch because they don't show you what's inside of the statue, which are the beings. And so they feed them. And then also they show you the picture of Moloch and the priest burning. Matter of fact, let me share my screen real quick. Here we go. I have a picture for y'all. It is right. Where is it? Just fit, partner window, entire screen. No. Did I move it? Oh, what did I do with it? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I moved it. I had a how do I do that? All right, let me not mess this up. Darn it. I had a picture. Hold on real quick. I did something, almost messed up our whole thing. But no, I had a picture of them performing a blood sacrifice. Let's see if I can get it. Darn it. Ah, that would have been so good. Let me look real quick. All right. While I look, anything to add, Brother Larry?
Oh no, nothing yet.
Man, I had it. I guess it was. So basically, it showed a group of Jewish rabbis, and they were spilling the blood, and then they had the bull. And so basically, when you read the Bible, the followers of Yahweh and the followers of God, their God asks for blood sacrifice. There's passages in the Bible where this God, Yahweh, says, splatter the blood of a cow, splatter fresh meat, and it's detailed. Fresh meat, and it says that God, Yahweh, started salivating. That meant to drool. And so when you go and look at these pictures of the beans, guys, go watch the movie once again, The Meat Train. The Midnight Meat Train is showing you in this. And so I just lost my train of thought. So at the end of the movie, the humans that they're killing on the trains and basically abducting and kidnapping, and the government knows about it. It's all part of the media. It's part of Hollywood. The news is in on it. Hence why the Ninja Turtles and April O'Neil, underneath the ground, they feed them to these extraterrestrials. And in the movie, he says he didn't have what it takes anymore. And so he was training the reporter to become the new Midnight Meat Train. He said, I envy you. And he was like, why? He said, it must be done. Why? To keep the world separate. Just like I was telling you guys earlier, in order to stop the beings inside of the earth and under your cities from saying, F it, we're going to reveal ourselves. They feed these beings, humans, not just animals. So just like you eat animals and just like some of us, we eat meat, beings eat you. And hence why they tell you to stop being careful eating meat, because it seasons you. The food, all the chemicals, is because the Caucasians, they're a grafted being. They're a kind of man. So they're right now attempting to be man. They're attempting to gain a soul. They were created for other purposes outside of your purpose. So once you understand that, you'll understand that we are a completely different species. And that's why you're not supposed to follow the ways of the Caucasian or the Neanderthal. You're not supposed to follow the ways of their culture, because they were created for food for these deities. And that's one of the hidden secrets. But once again, some of us love them so much as a creation to say, let's give them an opportunity. So this is also a weeding out process for the so-called white and Caucasians to see if they truly submit to what you call the true gods, which is us as the Mers and Moors and Martians are the true people who gave them civilization in a world to live in, because without us, they'd still be in the caves crawling on all fours, which they do today, which is eating babies, practicing cannibalism, going around the world, causing mischief, deceiving, because they are born of what you call Satan, the devil. They are the children of the devil. And it's not an egotistical when we call them devils, like other groups are saying it in a hateful way. We're saying it that the so-called Caucasian race was not created of love. They were created of hate. It's their nature. And they were built to also put all this stuff like you see in them, and you could feed the entities to stop them from coming up. And that's who we went to war with. We, as us as extraterrestrial beings, we went to war with other facets of extraterrestrials who they would say are humanoid reptiles, insectoids, and other things. And also some that vibrate in the light spectrum, who are able to whisper in your ear, who don't take a physical form. Hence why people, when they get drunk or if they're possessed, you could tell that they're a demon in a human form. And so basically he says, you'll understand soon enough. And basically they're preparing the world for the reveal that people like Joe Biden weren't humans, and that a lot of your presidents are extraterrestrials wearing human suits, and the so-called pale-skinned Jews who control your entertainment and this realm this lower realm. They control the reality because they control the education system. They control the religions that the masses believe in. They control the celebrities. They control the games, the ball games. Hence ball, Moloch, ball. Hence the rappers say we're gonna ball out, ball. And so they're fascinated with your balls, because your balls, like Dr. Frances Cress Welsing stated in the ISIS papers, rest in peace, she stated that your balls and your penis are the most powerful weapon, of course, outside of your mind, because when you as a god are in your right state of mind, you create nations and worlds, and you actually can kill them, not through violence, but through sex. And that's why he doesn't want you to be polygamous, polyamorous, because when the most women find out who you are, and when you're operating in your status, you're the most wealthiest person on the planet, not through the so-called Jews' fictitious financial system, but because by birth you were born God, and you are naturally the wealthiest person because you have the closest relationship with the sun, the moon, the stars, and nature, which is the greatest teacher of all. And so therefore you are a receiver of a ball, like basketball, football. And once you receive the highest intellectual information, you empower yourself and it comes out. Hence why when people are empowered by satanic set lower frequency gangster rap, gangster, now they're making the black woman gangster. Hence why you see black women fighting all on TV. And now in order to get on TV, you have to be fighting. You have to be a Glorilla type of woman, because they're time traveling on you right now. They're changing time right now in front of you. Your friend wasn't your friend yesterday.
Exactly.
Your friend, you guys don't remember when some of your friends got addicted to gangster rap and they started gangbanging? You don't remember that your friends, it was a soundtrack for you to be a black devil. That's exactly what it was. So gangster rap was a government ploy to get black people, black America, to worship Satan. Hence why the movie Sinners resonates, because the church is controlled by the vampires. The music industry is controlled by vampires. And that's why they have you worshiping a god that asks for blood sacrifice. So that means that the majority of the planet who has come in contact with the living dead worships the devil, which is the culture of the pale-skinned European. In the final days of the Matrix,
for real,
they will use Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, Blue Ivy. They will use the celebrity kids, because those who fall victim and the parents who allow their kids to fall victim are going to wake up in that reality soon. Because when they merge the dimensions, you're going to either wake up and all your great righteous work is going to pay off and you're going to live free, versus those who've been getting away and been rewarded for producing this reality with the children of Satan, the church of Satan. So all the women who got BBL, they can't come. All the women who've gotten lip injections, they can't come. So all these people who've done all these heinous acts and think that the judge is judging them. No, you're about to be judged, like they always say, the most high, meaning the highest intellectual beings in the universe who have cameras in the form of nature and also vibrate on different frequencies. So you can't lie to them. You can lie to the physical judge, but you can't lie to the gods that are here and never left. And so This is what the Ninja Turtles represented, y'all. And so it says Epstein Files include 9/11 mentions, often paired with grape soda. Grape soda, they're saying, is black kids, because black people, grape soda. And go watch Nickelodeon with Keenan and Kel. They would either say grape soda or orange soda. And they would have Nick Cannon dressed as a girl. And the logo of Nickelodeon is Epstein Island. And so right there, the whole Pizzagate and Ninja Turtles was them making a mockery of the extraterrestrial beings and the God that people worship right now. And that's why you see Black Americans killing each other, fighting amongst each other. The so-called black woman says F the black man. Then you hear black women not even wanting the righteous brothers to rule with multiple women so she can be wealthy and all of us can be wealthy, because you're not going to be broke. And so you're going to rule with authority. But a black woman would rather be single and alone with kids and then allow a man to rule in his righteous and be happy. So that means that women don't want you to be happy, and that's satanic worship. Because once again, most women worship Jesus, and a woman who worships a white man can never respect you because your culture doesn't originate worshiping Jesus. That's why they call it BC, before Christ existed. Who were you before Jesus? Because remember, even the story of Jesus and Yahshua, he went into Kemet. He went into Egypt. Which Egypt? Was it the Egypt in Africa? The Egypt in America? Because Egypt and Kemet is an education system that was set up all over the galaxy and planet. Hence why you see the same structures and sacred geometry symbols all throughout the planet. But the difference is the Mesoamerican glyphs and the ancient Egyptian and Cometian glyphs are different time code. And that's what we need to be using the AI for, because that's what they're doing. They're using these quantum computers and plugging in the hieroglyphs to get the Indinkra codes. Hence why in the movie Blade, part 1, they were trying to resurrect the blood god, Yahweh. They're bloodthirsty gods of ancient antiquity. Like Larry Daniels was saying, Cali, they want to resurrect the angry black woman, not the righteous black woman. They want the Sekhmet that just kills everybody, and then they got to put her down. Aaliyah, Queen of the Damned movie, they sucked her blood till she died, and she was the mother of them. So that's what they're trying to do with this time travel experiment. Use up the so-called Moorish woman till she dies, but it's also letting you know that the black woman is the original vampire. She's the original devil. And so watch the movie Queen of the Damned with Aaliyah, and then we're gonna link it. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Jews who control the ancient Moorish tunnel systems. And if you watch the movie Ghostbusters 2, the Ooze, hence Wizard of Ooze, Wizard of Oz, the Ooze and the Oz, what was underneath Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? The Ooze. And then Ghostbusters 2, the Ooze was under the tunnels of New York, and the Ooze was conscious and it looked like blood. And so it showed you the ancient tunnel systems underneath New York. And in Ghostbusters 2, Dan Aykroyd, who is a UFO specialist now, he said, wow, it's the old New York tube tunnel system, because in ancient times, which is the future, which is now, those tunnel systems use air compression for you to travel throughout the planet in split time. Watch Total Recall Part 2. And the Jews control these tunnels, and they use the technology to travel and transport drugs, human trafficking, extraterrestrials. And now, once again, they have the technology of human suits. and they feed them. Hence why they showed you. And the joke's always been, I remember seeing Joe Biden's skin suit as the thing right here. Joe Biden was never president of the United States. Epstein Files revealed he died in 2019 and was quietly replaced. So that means that's why Donald Trump is so focused on that election, even though he is president now. It will allow him to run for another physical term, and it will allow him to complete the time travel process, to bring in the robots, to bring in the other entities their way, to create an event using drone and Project Bluebeam to showcase a white Jesus in a portal opening to manipulate the population to worship the white man, and the white race is the children of God. And that's why they keep showing you all these white alien stuff that none of our ancestors talked about. And so when you start hearing the white alien talk and the red hair, white alien, no, those are them interjecting themselves into our history to make themselves live. Hence why they always in Atlantis. Oh, I was in Atlantis. I was in Egypt. At what time? Because you guys did not exist in ancient time. So they're lying. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, you got aliens that are like 7 feet tall and have Europeans.
Keep talking, boy.
Like such as long hair, braided and blue eyes, and they seem to be here for so long, but yet they have features that would be presented as something like Aryan, you know what I mean?
Yes. Keep talking, I'm coming.
No?
Yeah, I'm here. Keep talking.
What's that?
I'm here. Yeah. I'm here. So yeah, that's exactly what it is, brother. It's exactly what it is. And that's what it links to the SpaceX. They're not just shooting low orbit. They're doing something with blocking the sun. They're opening up portals. They're opening up wormholes. They're doing all this. U.S. Space Force, Cape Canaveral. If you looked in the sky the other day, it looked like a heart. It looked like a circle. It looked like a symbol. So clearly they can direct these satellites. What debris is coming off of these satellites? What type of chemicals are they spraying with these satellites? What are they basically turning our people into? And that's what they're doing. They're changing us. They're changing us. How good. They're changing us into something different than we were 10, 20, 30, 100, 200, 1,000 years ago. They're turning people into a new species, and they're also terraforming the planet so these extraterrestrial beings can walk amongst us. Hence why you learn why Tupac Amaru Shakur was so hell-bent on Jay-Z. As we start closing it out, the devil, DJ Vlad, said he stopped getting checks. And what does the devil do? He don't care about you. So now he's saying, since he's not getting paid, it says, I have a confession. Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. They also paid off all the jury members to convict Tory. They bribed the judge too. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. She was never shot. The police are all on Jay-Z's payroll, and it doesn't stop with LA. But you're not ready to hear that part. The Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who do you think paid him to do that? You already know the answer to that. The 3 Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal, all paid off by the Rock Mafia, Rock Nation. Jay-Z also paid Trump not to pardon Tory. Even though it's a state case, Trump can only pardon federal cases. But knowing Trump likes to bend rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances. I can't keep these lies secret anymore. If this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me. And Jeffrey Epstein emails named Jay-Z as a sick predator. Newly released email from Epstein, related documents, reportedly allegations involving high-profile figures in the entertainment industry, naming Jay-Z as a predator who drugged and assaulted multiple women and was allegedly naked in a room with Harvey Weinstein. Rockefeller, y'all. In college, I always said that Jay-Z and Dame Dash were government agents because there's no way in the world that you're gonna be called Rockefeller Records and allowed to rap about selling drugs, selling dope, and not going to jail. So the name Rockefeller Records was a ploy that Jay-Z and all those involved with Rockefeller and Roc Nation was a government operated record label that once again pumped sound waves into the mind of impressionable youth and teenagers who would become adults and have kids and play that music and adopt that mind state, New York state of mind, to sell dope, sell drugs, and that's a way to become rich and famous. And Jay-Z, to this day, after Tupac Amaru Shakur faked his death for this, was murdered in blood sacrifice, told us that Jay-Z, P. Diddy, and all the others named were part of a big cabal of blood sacrificing. Hence why Machiavelli, he had himself being blood sacrificed on the cross. Amaru, long live Amaru Shakur. So Jay-Z, hence the word J is 10. And if you guys remember the original Reasonable Doubt album, he had 2 dots in front of, on top of the J or Z, but he had a sacred he had a vampire symbol that I always notice on top of that. So anyone who's a fan of hip hop, go look at the Reasonable Doubt original album, because I noticed that they took it off a lot, and look at the 3 dots. If you know ancient symbols, necromancy, all about vampire cults, especially being born and raised in California, you know certain symbols to read. Like certain restaurants will have a certain symbol, and I'll be like, oh, that's where they serve human meat. And so unless you're able to read certain symbols of restaurants, you don't know that that restaurant is serving human meats to vampires that are able to walk in the dead. Hence why in the movie Blade, in the majority of vampire movies, their goal is to become a day walker, to walk amongst you under Raw, vampires living amongst you. Go watch the movie with Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg. They were showing you, it's on Netflix. It's a vampire movie with Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg, and it shows you that there's underground tunnels underneath Hollywood, and that the police are in on it, the government's in on it, and that they perform human sacrifice in the valley and in Hollywood. And they use the ancient Mesoamerican tunnel systems to do that. And then, of course, they use the peons, the public, the mass population to subliminally worship the deities that are underground, which we call today the devil. So that's why, once again, you see black people acting like devils, because the music that they've been listening to was created by black devils who also were having sex with white devils who put them in power. And so once again, Here you are, Harvey Weinstein, who's connected to Halle Berry and all of the top black actors and actresses. So once again, like I would teach you guys when I left the industry, firsthand, handsome, talented, come from a real royal family and rejected it. So when you hear a lot of people on the internet talking about the conspiracy theories and bloods, they weren't there. They weren't there. I never saw them. We grew up with Ray J and them. Like literally in high school, seeing these people. So if you didn't grow up in Southern California, if you weren't out here before 2012 on the scene, dog, you are just regurgitating information from those of us who actually experienced Hollywood and were talented and were getting recruited by record labels and still are. That's how I met Red and Blue Pill. I met Red and Blue Pill, your top people in the conscious community, when I came back from Egypt with Astral Kwesi. And I was dealing with the DeBarge family and Michael DeBarge, who is the godson of Michael Jackson. That's who I was rocking with, which is Sony. Because I was going to sign to Premier Entertainment, which is under Sony Red. And then I was going to sign to Sony, one of the labels who was recruiting me. So I got in trouble when I left, which was going to be my handler, DeBarge and them. And they said they're either going to rob you and harm. They're going to rob you. Don't go. It's over. And the doorman wouldn't show me the direction to Harlem and 125th Street. I was actually going to find Sonetter. There was no Red or Blue Pill during they were never on TV or on the thing at that time. It was Sonetter TV. For those watching, look up Sonetter TV. That's the golden era of the conscious. That's really when it became infiltrated. It became commercialized. And if you go back on old tapes, you'll hear Sonetter and a lot of the brothers saying, "Oh, Elm Street's tripping. He's talking about aliens in the Matrix." All of them were talking bad about me and calling me a hater and crazy. And then they brought in Polite and Young Pharaoh to block all the stuff I was saying years ago. I was calling Young Pharaoh an agent. I knew because his voice was like this, and nobody whose voice is like this has experienced the journey to get the golden fleece. It's a fucking hell. You gotta go through hell, homie. It's not just listening to people on YouTube or taking off of your shirt and regurgitating information to sound cool. And you know who I'm talking about. Because during the golden era for nigga wearing his shirt with no fucking shirt on, niggas would have been like Dr. Bobby Hemmett, all those brothers. These are brothers who went to college. So now you got brothers in the community telling people, don't go to college, don't go to university. Nah, homie, when you get out, it's just that there's no black businesses, and then the economics. College is where everyone goes to connect. Napster, Bill Gates, all these people met at Ivy Leagues. And so you'll hear Kanye say, "Oh, they dropped out," but they went, motherfucker. You piece of shit.
Yeah, they
Kanye
went. They just went out in secret.
Yeah. Elon Musk went to college. Donald Trump went to military school. All of them went to college, homie. So any black person teaching you like fucking T.I., little T.I. looking like a female, going through a humiliation ritual so he doesn't get killed or put indictment with Big U, not gonna go there because they're gonna sacrifice one of his kids if he doesn't stay in line. You don't think T.I. is a government agent? T.I. stole me and Michael DeBarge had a falling out because he told me when I was on T.I. set with the song "What Goes Around Comes Back," you know. Matter of fact, I could show you guys right now on YouTube me in that video. So the video with me, I'm gonna type it while I'm talking. Jamie Foxx, T.I. It's about his son. It's about when he performed a blood sacrifice for his friend or on his friend, even though he says the bullets weren't meant for him. At the end of the day, the song is about his friend getting murdered, and he said the bullets were meant for him, but it was his fault that they got killed because he was doing some extra stuff. So this is the video I'm in, and this was the first time I saw a rapper glow when T.I. came into that church. And this was at the Hollywood Church, the Church of Hollywood, so the Church of Satan, basically. Yeah, I was a senior at Cal State San Marcos, and which is crazy. My next door neighbor in like the dorm type of apartments by Cal State San Marcos, neighbor, she was on Bad Girls Club, Drea. So anybody watching this show, if you've seen Bad Girls Club, Drea was my neighbor. Her brother was Rican. He was on TV on the radio. And then my next door neighbor was Nigerian, and he was extra on TV. So one day I come back from school, and he was like, yo, Jason, Elm Street, he was like, yo, man, I got this audition and I need a ride, bro. He said it's an audition for T.I.'s video. He said you won't get the role, but you'll get to experience it. I was like, cool. And I went with him and auditioned, and I got a call back, and they put me in the video. And he called me and said something. He's like, you got in? I was like, yeah. And they gave me SAG credits. They gave me actual credit for that video. So I have movie credits for being in this video with T.I. And so my grandfather, who ran the lodge, in Compton, Master Mason in Compton, rest in peace. My grandfather is Nate Baker. So where Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre filmed their very first music video, and they would play it at the concerts, that liquor store in their first videos, that's my grandfather's liquor store. Like I said, my grandfather, Nate Baker, he owned the first liquor stores in Compton. And so, like I said, I'm beyond connected. That's why I tell people, so many people talk about the stories of Compton and Riverside, but they don't come from families that really are top. Like I said, my mother is the very first Black female ASB president of Compton High. Why hasn't Dr. Dre done a documentary on her? I would assume that my mother is way more important than Kendrick Lamar. What's a fucking rapper doing compared to a woman who was raised on School Street, homie? One of the most toughest persons, my mom was raised on School Street, Compton Boulevard. So when I with the T.I. thing, I was saying the blood sacrifice and stuff, he got caught with all those guns when they set him up before the BET Awards. But me and DeBarge had a falling out over this music video because I was talking to him and Forrest Whitaker. I just got back from Africa. Before I left? Either way, I'm telling them about what's going on. And so Forrest Whitaker and T.I., they just listening to me. And so long story short, we finished the video, and Hype Williams comes up to me. He was like, man, quit standing up, because every time T.I. would pass me, he was so short. If I put my hand up, I was taller than him because I was trying to get on the scene, trying to get a shot. And he said, if you don't stop, I'm going to tell you to leave, and I'm not going to put you in any of the scenes. So I thought he took me out, but he didn't give me a good face shot, but he gave me a quick face shot, and I had my grandfather's white Moonwalker hat on. So I'm gonna press play for y'all, and hopefully y'all could see me. So that's when I met Forrest Whitaker, and here we are. I'm with the Y hat. Let's see if we can, right there. If y'all could see me. The corner, you see the brother. Yeah. So I was trying to wear the hat to blend in, so he made me take it off. Actually, he's like, take off the hat, but he put it in, and so that's me shaking my head, like I'm trying to act like, oh, my friend. He's like, stand still, And so T.I.'s people came up, they knew who I was. And you know, they were like, man, what's good? Like, you know, who are you gonna sign to? I was dealing with Rough Riders, and my A&R from
Rough Riders.
Yeah, I was gonna sign with Rough Riders at a time. My A&R, I met him when I performed at the House of Blues Disneyland. My junior year, I performed at the House of Blues my sophomore year. Sophomore, junior year in college, I performed at the House of Blues Disneyland a few times, and got initiated into the Disney World theme. But yeah, where was I going? So, anyways, let's go. So, I got to be in the video, and I gave my song that Michael DeBarge produced for me called "You." Actually, it might be in my Rolodex here. Listen, can y'all this song right here? This song I gave the T.I.'s. I gave the T.I.'s manager and his people. He got one too, and I told DeBarge because he had told me not to give away my music on set, and I got starstruck, and I gave because I went back to the car, and he's like, "Dog, what are you doing?" Because I told him, and he's like, "Don't give out your music. He's gonna steal your song, and that's not even copywritten." So DeBarge was like, "That's not even your fucking song."
Exactly.
And that's when I got in trouble, because that's when I learned, nigga, that's not your song. That song that I'm about to play wasn't my song yet. Even though it was my song, technically it was DeBarge's. He produced it. He had the people on the hood, all that. And he said, they're going to steal the song. He said, that was your single. He said, that was your fucking single. A few months later, or a year or so later, excuse me, whenever B.O.B. and Bruno Mars came out, that's the song that they stole. You, baby. And B.O.B. in that video has spaceships and all that. And then later he linked up with Brother. He died, Panic. And I always said that the reason that was because B.O.B. is an agent who stole my identity, just like Snoop did with Wiz Khalifa. Because those who know, I owned Riverside County Medical Supply. So I was the skinny brother in the industry who was supplying a lot of the artists with Tree, just like the homie 40 Glock was supplying 50 Cent, Mobb Deep, and all the gangster rappers from New York with pistols. So when people ask me, how do I know, how was I around 50 and Ray J, how was I on stage with 50? It was because 40 Glocks from Colton. And he knew my homie Pistol Pop, rest in peace. Pistol Pop was my older brother, my rap sensei. And so he was like, wherever 40 Glock and them were, he'd be like, that's Elm Street, that's the little bro. And so 50 and them would let me just talk. I'd be in the with what's his name, Prodigy, rest in peace, talking about the Illuminati. And one time 50 and them said, man, you could stay in the trailer, you could fuck on bitches, smoke, whatever, bring them back. And I ended up taking Razcast home that night because Game and them were one of those nights. Game and them were trying to fuck up Razcast, and I was with Fody, and then that was some shit. So I was like, okay, I think he told me be careful, like, because that's when I found out that shit was real. And so I just started mobbing backstage just by myself, so I wouldn't. If something really popped off, and I saw Razcast and I knew that the niggas was looking for him. I was like, they about to kill this nigga. And I was like, yo. And I wasn't even a huge Razcast fan, but I had a white homie at the time. He loved Razcast. So I was like, fuck it. And I ended up taking Razcast home, and I drove to Moval to show my friend who was a Razcast fan, because people don't believe a lot of my stories, you know. So I took Razcast to his house, and Razcast is tripping, thinking I'm setting him up. And then my friend sees Razcast. This is like 3 a.m. in the morning. And he's like, holy shit. I drove Razcast all the way to Malibu. So that Razcast, you owe me. And so I took him. I drove him from San Bernardino, Orange County Orange Fairgrounds in San Bernardino, all the way to Malibu. Back to Riverside to save Razcast from getting fucked up. And so Yeah, and so once again with Red and Blue, I met Red and Blue when I got into it and got in trouble with the record label Sony, uh, and and they recorded me. Red and Blue actually did a video of me in New York and made it, and they were talking about how I was the first brother that saying this, all this stuff of me. My brother comes from Kemet, and so I met Red and Blue on when they killed Michael Jackson. So when Michael Jackson was killed, I was at the BET Awards, and that's the first time I met Joe Jackson. And I have video of that. So I have video of me with my arm around Joe Jackson, and that's when Michael died. I go to Egypt, come back. Never been treated so amazing in my life at that point. By DeBarge and the record label. I have to say that. This didn't have to pay for anything. This I have to say that. But yeah, I broke like an oath, and I got activated on 125th Street. I came back activated, and hell broke loose, bro. And that's another episode. But let me finish playing the T.I. part. And so yeah, I was in this video, and it's a blood sacrifice. We filmed it at the Church of Hollywood, and it shows it in this video. So for me, T.I. has to pay the piper. So in order for like his kids and stuff like that not to be killed or him, he has to look at me right there. You see how I'm not shaking my head? But that's my grandpa's hat, and that's me. So yeah, that was my first so-called music video. And as we ended, Jay-Z, Harvey Weinstein, as you guys saw, the SpaceX rocket, it curved. Once again, so that means we're in a dome. So once again, freedom. So that means freedom means when we're living in a free dome where we can time travel, access different matrices, which we would probably call planets. And that's what we're preparing for. Some of us who are going to ascend and be part of the Intergalactic Federation, to where we're able to travel just like Earth. There's other planets. Just like when we get in a plane, imagine the different planets and matrix lands that you can go to, because this is not it, and we are not alone. And our proof is right here. They knocked the nose off of our previous lives and our previous civilizations to hide the proof of who we are, what we've done, and what we're capable of. It's right here. Your mountains, your mountain cities are covered up with dirt. So everything is still here. You are the infinite being that they study. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Larry, as we close it?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. I appreciate all y'all watching, and as I flip through the last things, as we see Sandusky, we always relate it to Riverside County, because this is ancient Kemet of the West. And once again, Kemet, Morocco, Mauritania, El Kemet, Atlantis education system. The Caucasians and all them still practice the ball system, blood sacrificing. Your favorite celebrities, they all do it. They all took the oath to do it. So that's why their world is about to end, because when people find out the truth of this reality and how they held up the reality through blood sacrifice and manipulation and deceit, you'll truly see that the devils really walk amongst you, and that the so-called demons and devils are here, and they live in your underground facilities. And they've been here, like Larry was saying, since the beginning of time, because so-called what they call man and mankind, they're new. Us as Moors and Mers, we've been here. We're the infinite beings. They're new. That's hence why they called it the New World. And once they said that they would fall off the earth. So they just recently found our land. So that means if they recently found Amaruka, imagine all the other lands that they cut us off from. But eventually through their mind, you're going to send an electrical burst of energy to the spaceship, and the mothercraft is going to be able to find us. Because it's some type of time glitch loop they're doing to where it's halting the invasion from occurring, giving them time, and they distract us. But the gig is up, and then Drake. Once again, Drake, the Draconian, he's an extraterrestrial. McDonald's eating meat. So Drake, the Draconian, McDonald's right here showing you again that he is not a human. And he, under the jingles, hypnotized America through his raps. And Kendrick, straight out of Compton. Hence, once again, Compton, which is Camtown, because Compton sits on top of an ancient Egyptian pyramid civilization. Swamps. Oh, that's why they have gangs called the Swamps. And Dr. Dre, body found on Greenleaf. All these things because Compton is an ancient Moorish civilization. Hence why they had to disrupt the frequency of Compton to be a city of gangbangers instead of a city of gods and goddesses. And that's why Compton High School's mascot is called the what? Tar Babies. Because we are the Tar Babies. We are the Tar people, La Brea Tar Pits, the prehistoric Tartarians. There you go. And I was supposed to play this song. This is the youth song that you know.
They say men are from Mars, a woman are from Venus. Goddess, when we make love, I have you screaming. Your neck, my back, Dr. Feel Good. Sometimes you tripping up. Girl, you acting Hollywood. I ain't gon' cheat. I ain't gon' lie. We can go to outer space. We can touch the sky. Let me spread my wings, chasing so fly. Life is just a dream. Come on and take a ride. Damn, shorty, you always tripping. Always thinking that I'm tripping off. With some shit you think I got on the side, but I don't want no one but you, baby, you, baby, you, hey, whoa. You always said we'd be friends.
So now I want everybody watching to type in the B.O.B. song with Bruno Mars and play my song, and that's the original song that they stole. And so as we ended, Donald Trump has a groundbreaking UFO speech ready to go. Insiders claim Alien Council, Donald Trump has secret meetings with extraterrestrials in the White House was revealed. So they're telling you, they're preparing you. He already has a speech. So once that's revealed, if you're not already risen and understand the game, you're going to be sucked into their new world, which is a fictitious reality to where their gods and their extraterrestrials run you. And we're getting free. And once again, Epstein connected to Area 51 and all these other underground facilities, tunnel networks. And this is just one person, and you don't know if he existed. But the craziest thing is he's supposed to be dead. So if he's dead, what is the point of releasing this? It lets you know that they're giving themselves time, because the moment these videos start coming out that used to be on Napster of them eating babies, them blood sacrificing, it's the video proof that has to come out. They're gonna leak the videos. And when you see your favorite celebrities having sex with animals, kids, eating humans, seeing them rip open a hooker's neck and drink the blood and all these things, you're going to flip your wig. And not only that, everything that you thought was gonna end. And then what you call the so-called white man, his world ends, and that's when he's going to try to go around and kill everything, everyone, and probably set off the atomic bomb. And that's why we have to use our minds to get off the planet and get away from them, because the devil is not going out without a fight. And like he said, he has a good mirror. And if you learn about the most expensive mirrors in especially ancient times, they use mirrors to communicate with entities in other dimensions, because mirrors are portals to other worlds.
Oh yeah, like that Superman, the Phantom Zone. They also have many. It's like a pocket dimension, and you are also imprisoned inside that state of mind. Whenever if you're like an intergalactic threat, they keep you inside that prison.
Wow. And that's what they have us in. They have the mass population under mind control. They have us as aliens, extraterrestrials, Martians, under a hypnotic spell to make us believe that we're humans. So if they can convince the aliens that they're humans, they can manipulate their minds using these tactics, change their DNA, and once again, murder those of the past, to the point to where black people worship a white man as their god, and ushering in a white extraterrestrial being as their god, posing with superior technology, like the show The V. So as we ended, everyone type in the show The V. And so they plan to introduce pale skin aliens who are posing as your friend in the form of Jesus worship, who are going to take you on ships, put you in camps, make you think you're being taken away with your church group, and you're going to be fed to these extraterrestrials for food. And that's what they're going to do. The churches are going to be where people run to, the abandoned Walmarts, like they showed you, the FEMA camps. People are going to run there, and that's going to be the food for the extraterrestrials. And that's why they don't want you to learn also about the ancient cultures who would feed people to these extraterrestrials. Hence why the God of the Bible asked for blood sacrifice. He salivates at the smell of fresh meat. Therefore, the God of the Bible isn't who they describe you in the church. It's an extraterrestrial being that walks and talks, that eats meat and loves to drink blood. That's the God of the Bible, who had technology to hover over the waters when there was intelligent life already in the waters, able to manipulate genes, right? And create a new type of being. Who are the new beings that these extraterrestrials created? Could it be your Caucasians? Could those be the Adamites that they speak of? So that would mean that so-called white people were created using genetic engineering recently.
Exactly. Like what I said, like grafting. They grafted many people to form that white race that was desired.
Exactly. And so it reads in the middle as we close it, I don't know if aliens exist, but I do know Epstein didn't kill himself. So where are we today as a people? What is the Matrix? Why did Christians defend slavery using the Bible? And why do so many black people still worship white people today? I am Jason, July, August, September, October, November. And like I say, I'm trying my best to find my dream, find my way home to the freedom, the other landmass with advanced civilizations without dying. So that's one of the goals, is to find that Easter egg, to find that treasure hunt, but also knowing that the ultimate treasure is the gift of El-If, life, because life is spelled with an L. So let's not say life, it's L-I, Ifa, El-Ifa, El-Efe, El. You are the L's, you are the days, you are all that, you are the deities, you are the agriculturalists, you are the infinite. Learn to love one another. So instead of love, it would be L-O-V, because love is L. So L-O-V. So I L-O-V, Tahuti, Hotep, y'all. Once again, Jason. And don't let them, like they say, African gods are evil rituals. Now tell us which ritual scares you. And as we close it, I'm going to close it with some of the opportunities that our students, you and your families can do together with our organization, the Matrix University. We have a real worldwide virtual reality campus. We are now in partnership with Meta, the #1 virtual reality company in the world for education, Victory XR. So your friend, your brother is an official partner with Meta, and we're going to use Meta. We're going to use AI to build a harmonious relationship in the digital realm and in the real world. We can create so many opportunities and new worlds inside the digital world, because you're already in a digital world. So that's where they're going to hide the information. Watch Ready Player One. Watch Free Guy. It's in the metaverse. It's here. Grab the coins, find it, unlock your mind. I come up here, I feel like I plug into the matrix and I'm trying my best to figure it out. And when I do, I can free my people, just like you're supposed to free your people. I love y'all. I'm Jason, and here's an example of the opportunities that we provide. So as I close it, we're able to turn your gym into an actual immersive experience now. So if you have a church, or organization, a school, indoor events, and you would like to have a virtual mixed reality event, or if you yourself would like to develop your own world, your own campus, the Matrix University, Dr. Jason E. Williams, we can provide that. And so it's going to be so many great opportunities for us to learn, to come together, and to create wealth together. It's not about it's not about me. It's about us. It's about teamwork. It's about unity. It's about us. So that's what the platform is. So enjoy the opportunities that I'm creating for us all, Jason. And thank you, guest Larry Daniels, for tuning in. I appreciate you, brother. You're welcome.
Good morning, class. Based on last night's reading, who would like to tell me the difference between a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell? Chloe, what did you find in your reading last night?
Well, prokaryotic cells are like the simpler ones, right? They don't have a nucleus or any membrane-bound organelles.
Yep, that is correct. Cells come from pre-existing cells, right? They divide and they reproduce, right? Who can tell me some fundamental differences between plant cells and animal cells? Jordan.
Okay, Mr. Coyle. So, like, one big difference is that plant cells have cell walls, while animal cells don't. Plant cells also have chloroplasts for photosynthesis, which animal cells don't have.
Very good, Jordan.
Got it. Thanks, Mr. Coyle.
While the cell membrane purposefully lets stuff in and out, whereas the cell wall is its wall. It is purposefully just like nothing goes past it.
Oh, so the cell wall is more like a solid barrier?
That's the idea.
So with VXR Labs' new mixed reality update, we can now freely explore huge environments like our gymnasium here. And as you can see, I've set up this real-life scale exhibit of a couple life-size dinosaurs here. Dinosaurs in real life are way bigger than you think they are. And you can see that seal here in mixed reality. Notice I don't have to use my thumbstick to walk around or teleport. I can just freely walk around using my own two legs. It's pretty sick. Go around this bush here. So here's this Triceratops here. He's huge, absolutely huge. And there's a Parasaurolophus over here. If I want, I can even duck in the bushes over here and peer through the dinos through the bushes. So this is a whole new facet of the platform that you're going to be able to utilize in these larger spaces. And it's fully multiplayer compatible too, so long as you calibrate the same origin point, you can have a multiplayer session with all the students exploring the same large environment together.
Represented, I'm the hardest in it. Fuck the critics, ain't nobody hard as gritty. Black and brown come together, we ain't backing down. I've been in the Hardy City, got the bloodline of a king. Gotta come together, we all in the same game. One God, one universe, all unity, and ain't shit changed. Gotta mount up, but they dumb us down with that fake shit that they teach us now. We been living in the belly of the devil, battling so we can make it out. Fuck the politics and the president, fuck the White House till they let us in. We gon' go to war, we ain't hesitant. If they want to smoke, then I'm a hella shit. We the last living of a dying breed. Ain't nobody with the pen as hard as me. Every time I rap it hit an artery. Ain't nobody fucking with my artistry. We the holy guys, we invented time. We gon' send a missile like it's Lebanon. I been eating rappers like it's dinner time. Suckers hibernating like it's winter time.
Smoke on the West Coast. West Coast. You look for women on the West Coast. West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast. Like a round ride on the West Coast. We got the best smoke on the West Coast. West Coast. You look for women on the West Coast. West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast. Like a round ride on the West Coast. We got the best.